actually there with Rodney Mack was wrestling,
right?
And I met Rodney too. Just down to earth, chill guy. Talked to Jeff for talked to Jeff for 7 minutes. It was in between intermission. So so we exchange information and looking to do some things in the future with her. So
yeah, he does. He has his own school, right?
Yeah, they have the Dog Pound Dojo.
He actually sent me a follow on Twitter, and I didn't know that was him at first. I'm like, oh, it's Rodney Mack, and he's a really down to earth guy. Because I just remember as a kid growing up, I was like, that guy looks mean. He looks like he would, fuck you up for just saying hi to him. But I listened to him on Rene Dupree's podcast, and again, he's like you just say, he's a really down to earth guy. He just seems like he's really chill.
Yeah,
and he's very approachable.
So. Yeah, he's. You can tell that he still appreciates being in wrestling. So the place that I went to. So the promotion branded Outlaw Wrestling. They were supposed to have it at Woodlawn, the Woodlawn Gym. However, they had maintenance issues 2 days before. So then they actually had it at some place over there off of Gilbo Bandera area, if you're familiar with that area.
Yeah.
So there it was very small venue, and unfortunately due to what happened. However, though, I would say it was very small and intimate. So I was walking to the restroom there, and literally walking by there, it's literally the width is probably 2 feet. Rodney Mack was on the bike, man, and I was waiting for the restroom. He was like, "Oh, I think someone's in the restroom." I was like, "Okay." I said, "Okay, I'll wait, man." And I say, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And I was like, he was like, "Yeah, I'm doing well, man." And he reached out, he put his fist out, gave him a fist bump, and I told him how much I appreciate him and his work, and told him I've been watching him since, the general fan stuff. I've been watching him forever, and whatever the case may be, and all that there. And he was like, "Yeah, man, really much so appreciate it, man, And he was saying that, it's still fun to get out there and still, still fun to, knowing that I can still wrestle. I can't do it as well as I used to, but I still have fun doing it. I was like, yeah, man, that's cool. Yeah, man. So yeah, very down to earth, very chill, man. Obviously wrestlers, they put, especially at that age, they put a lot of miles in our body to get to that, to get to that point. And the fact that they're still doing it, they still want to do it, is definitely telling. So yeah, man, it was a very cool experience, man. And Khan was there. I don't know if you know who Khan is. He's he's in, well, I guess you could say he's AEW, but he wrestles in Ring of Honor. He's 1/3 of the 6-man championship. I don't know if you know that or not, but for Ring of Honor. So I met him, a very cool guy there too as well. Who else was there? Anybody? There was a guy that was there who, Chase Owens from Bullet Club. He's from San Antonio, so there you go. So there's that, and I met another guy who Chase Owens wrestles, and his name's Soda Pop. I haven't really heard of him, but apparently he wrestles in NWA, or he has like a cup of tea in NWA. So met him too, pretty cool guy. So yeah, man, I had a really good time on Saturday. The only thing I would complain about, because since we're outside, it was cold as shit. But what are you gonna do?
Yeah, he when he was on Renee's show, he talked about how, like, I think he said Goldberg was actually trying to like get a feud with him.
Right. Yeah, I actually remember that
when Goldberg, answered the White Boy Challenge, and
right.
He said, Bill said straight up, like, I like working with you. He was actually trying to like do a pay-per-view program with him, but alas,
right.
To no avail. So let me start the intro. I'm gonna get a few people in. We got some nice guests lined up, so let me just do the intro real quick, and
baby.
5th anniversary, baby, and I'll get some of you guys in. So, intro in 3, 2, 1. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's the 5th anniversary show. 5th anniversary show. Not uno, not dos, not tres, not cuatro, cinco. The 5th anniversary show. 5 years of me. 5 years of my grating, annoying voice that you guys seem to love somehow. But welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate you guys for showing up and listening. You guys already know me. I'm Drew. I'm Mr. Drew. And I'm Andrew to some, but I'm Drew to most. With me is my podcasting partner in fucking crime,
Dustin from SpineBusterTees.com. Baby.
Yeah, Justin. Again, I appreciate you for being my podcasting partner in crime. I appreciate you for being on this show with me, and
Absolutely.
Yeah, joining this journey with me. So I just gotta go on my way to say thank you, my friend.
Thank you for having me on. Thank you for giving me the opportunity and actually putting up with my antics, because I know I can be a little crazy at times.
Oh no, it's allowed here. It's very much allowed here. So you have nothing to apologize for. So before we get to the big news at hand, let's get some people in that we have lined up for the show. Let me get Ruben. Sure. Let me get Ruben in for a bit. He said he's just going to come on and say hi, and I'm going to get the second guest in right after Ruben. So
yeah,
come on, Rube.
Come on, Mr. Prime time, baby.
Come on, Rube. Anytime.
He's like,
how dare you?
Did he just say like?
How dare you not approve of my high five?
He's like,
oh come on.
Maybe there's something going on with this.
Probably.
Discord meeting.
Okay, he said send in again. I think he said he was outside, so that's why.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
So all right, come on, Rube. He's probably mad that I haven't uploaded the Patreon show yet.
Ooh.
Ruben's mad at me. Hey, Ruben.
There we go.
Hi, Ruben. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
All right. What's going on, bro?
Yeah, just outside, but like I said, I wanted to come on here really quick and congratulate you on 5 years of Drew Yari, and I'm honored to have you as a friend, and just in the chaos. I'm glad to be a part of the Control Chaos, this Drew Yari show, and all your fans and supporters. And of course, it's been great. Here's to 5 more years of the good old Drew Yari. And yeah, like I'm just want to come on and just give my kudos and my congratulations. So yeah, I don't know what else to say.
that means the world to me, Ruben. You're a good friend. You're one of my very good friends, not just on the show, but in real life. You're legit one of my good friends. I'm honored and privileged to have you on here, even if it's just for a short while. And it means the world. It means the world to me that you're able to make it, even just to say hi.
Definitely. So, I told you I was gonna hop on. I didn't want to break that promise, so I try to be a man of my word, because Jesus Christ, the last few months has been trying, but I'm here. So, dude, congratulations again. 5 more years. 5 more years.
Yeah, 5 more years.
I'll definitely try. Yep, and I'll definitely try to be on next week for sure. And shouts to everyone on the Discord chat. Shouts to Draper, Mish, Justin, everyone that's been a supporter, listener of the Drew Yari and the Drew Yari show, and Wrestling Soup fan as well. So I don't know what else to say. Like it's been great, but I got to go. But again, congratulations, dude. 5 years. It's amazing, and cheers. 5 more years, man.
5 more years, but again,
5 more years, baby.
Again, thank you, man. It means the world to me that you came on here, and another 5 more years. Let's get this going. Let's get this going to 5 more years.
Yep, or 10. Hey, 10.
10, 15.
Maybe if you get to 30, it'll be Drew Yari XXX, just like Raw on Monday.
Hey, we're trying to outlast Impact Wrestling. Okay.
Yeah, they've been around for 20 years, 21 years now. So.
Oh, trust me, that's not hard to do.
Hey, well, they've been around for 20 years, but thank you so much, Ruben. Again, bottom of
course, anytime.
There you go.
Anytime. All right, I'll see you guys later.
Good seeing you, Ruben.
All right, brother.
All
right, we're gonna patch in another member of the show. You might know him. Do not get on my bed. My cat. All right.
Dude, I was like, don't get on my bed. I don't know that guy.
Yeah, my cat. He likes to get on this bed. He likes to crawl over the laptop. So. Yeah, but let me get in a familiar face. All right, John, I sent you the invite. You just have to accept it. Caller from New York, you're on the air.
Hey, Drew, this is John from New York. A first-time caller, long-time listener.
Hey, John from New York, how you doing, buddy?
Well, I'm doing all right. I just wanted to congratulate you on the 5 years there. The 5 years there, the 5 years of the show there. That's fantastic.
Oh, thank you, John. So, how old are you, pal, if you don't mind me asking?
That's a personal fucking question, Drew. Where do you get the nerve to ask me such a thing? Who the fuck do you think you are, you cocksucker?
There we go. That's what I was looking for.
I'm Drew motherfucking Yari.
Who is this Kenneth Keith Callenbach guy you got on the show with you? Who is this guy?
Kenneth Keith Callen. This is Justin, by the way. Justin, this is John Draper. John Draper, this is Justin.
Do you know who Kenneth Keith Callenbach is?
I don't know, but he sounds
just like him. It's frightening. He was a stern whack.
Yeah.
You do. You say, dude, you don't believe me? You're gonna.
I don't believe you. I don't believe you.
You have to believe Kenneth Keith Callenbach. I haven't heard a voice like this since Stern was relevant. That's how long ago. The guy died in prison, I think, in 2008.
Jesus Christ. That's great. I'm being compared to someone who's dead.
No, it's your voice. You have a fascinating voice.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate
phenomenal,
that.
dude.
Yeah,
it's captivating.
Wait till I start smoking crack.
Kenneth Keith Callenbach used to blow smoke out of his eyes. That was one of his things he used to do.
Okay.
But
I'm fascinated. Like, I heard this voice, and I go, this sounds like one of the Whack Pack dudes. And then I know that guy's dead, and I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool if Drew got a guy from the Stern Whack Pack on the show? That'd be fucking amazing. Like Fred the Elephant Boy just died. But enough about these people. Let's talk about you, Drucifer.
Drucifer, I love that. I need to coin that.
Drucifer, 5 years.
5 years. But...
You've outlasted 2 of my marriages. 2 of them.
Nice.
2 of my marriages and a lot of my teeth.
I don't know whether to be happy about that, but I'll take it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I get married a lot, but 5 years. I was thinking, what do you get for 5? Did you guys look up what the anniversary gift is for 5?
Maybe you should.
I mean,
is it like paper? Is it paper?
I mean, from Spreaker? Like, do we get a gift from Spreaker? Is what you're asking?
No, like a wedding anniversry for 5 years. You get a gift. You get a 5-year anniversary gift.
Anna saying 5 hookers. I mean, 5 hookers would be nice.
No, for 5 years, that's a meager accomplishment. 5 hookers sounds like a lot, and especially if you have to pay top dollar. But that's a different show. We're talking about your anniversary show, Drew.
I see a couple heart necklace on Zales.
No, there's got to be, like 1 year, like 10 is a diamond or something. One of those fucking things. I don't know. But 5 years, Drew, that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty nuts because it feels like.
What is your origin story? Is it really like you said you emailed Mish or something? That's your origin story, your superhero origin story.
Well, I mean, I have your personal Facebook. I have Mish and I have Joe and the Soup guys, and of course you and the Breaking the Apocalypse guys and Kevin. And I just remember, I just randomly got the courage to ask Mish. Mish is a good dude. He's very approachable. If you ever have any questions, anyone listening. I just randomly messaged him. I'm like, hey, I'm thinking about starting a podcast. Like, what are things I need? And he just told me, and he just said, all you need is headphones and a mic, and he told me which platform to use, and he recommended Spreaker. And
oh wow,
I Spreaker has like they have different plans where like if for free you get to talk for like 15 minutes. And
is that right? Yeah, I didn't know that actually. Really?
Right, and that's when I just had like the app on the phone where you can do podcasts on your phone.
Oh, you started on your phone?
Well, for the first podcast, for like the first.
Okay. Oh, yeah. All right. Well, yeah.
Yeah, literally the first ever episode, and I just talked about something that was topical and sports and something that was on my mind, and I got good feedback on it. I don't know if people were just trying to be nice, maybe they were, I don't know, but I just was like, maybe this can work because we pretty much like the same shit, you and me and Justin, and I just wanted an outlet to talk about it instead of just like posting my angry tweets on the internet. So I just decided, I'm going to make a podcast where I'm just going to talk about the shit that I like. And, over time it evolved and, I got great hosts like Justin, I got RJ and Ruben and, Littman.
I know those cats.
You do?
5 years ago, I was on The Soup then. Wow. That's right. I was 100% on the show, I think.
You were, yeah.
Yeah, it would have had to have been, right? Of course. Because I've already been gone, like 2 years or 2.5 years or something like that. I don't write anything down, Drew. That seems like a lot of book learning. You know what I mean? Like, I don't go in for fancy book learning. But, wow, 5 years, remarkable. Just remarkable. What is your highlight of the 5 years? Do you have a personal highlight?
Nothing really specific. It's just, I'm going to sound corny, but like just having my friends on. Like just having you.
That's not corny, dude.
Having you on because I haven't had you on here in almost 4 years, and
yeah, my rate went up pretty high a couple of years ago. You got priced out of the market there. But no, go ahead. The highlights. I really want to hear it. What was the highlight there?
Just being able to have people on that 5 years ago I was just a fan listening to podcasts and just leaving comments on posts to now it's just like I have you on and I can call you a friend.
Of course.
Same
We're
thing
legit
with,
friends.
Like same thing with Mish. Same thing with Kevin. And Trez. People like that. And I had Joe on for one show, which I need to do a redo on that because I fucked up on that. Which
I've been trying to. I got to talk to Numbers. We talk through chat a little bit here and there, but I need to have more of an involved conversation with the Numbers. But it's wild. Soup has inspired so many people. Yeah. Some of these people were inspired to commit crimes, to self-harm, to terrorize other people, to harm animals, to leave their spouses, to take narcotics.
That's me.
And all of that it seems like in this one guy who you do the show with, which is wild.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Justin harms animals. I just know he does crack, but...
Well, let me come loose here. I do harm animals. I apologize. I'm sorry.
I do it.
I massacred some fried chicken earlier today.
There you go. Me too. I had a couple of chicken pieces myself.
Good, man.
But Justin, where are you from geographically?
Me and Drew live in this. So me and Drew live in the same city. Actually, we went to the same high school together. So
you're kidding?
Middle school.
No.
Middle school too.
So
middle school too. Yeah, middle
voices.
school.
You have completely different voices.
Yeah. So so we knew each other since at least 20 years and more than that.
Well, John. Well,
you get to do the show together. That's badass. Dude.
Well, John, let me explain to you the voices thing. I am of both Middle Eastern and Irish descent, but I sound white. Justin is black, so that is the difference in our voices.
So he's Kenneth Keith Callan Black instead of Callan Back. That would be a good stage name for you. Kenneth Keith Callan Black. Because he's not using it, Justin. He's dead. He died in prison. So you could use Kenneth Keith Callan Black. I think that would be a very good name for you.
Callan Black. Okay.
Callan Black. Yeah. I mean, this is what I do. I'm a creator. I create. I inspire when I'm on. When I want to. But wow, that's really cool. Like you guys are you're not young. You're young, but you're not super young. So you still got friends you went to middle school with that you do podcasts with, dude. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, Justin, known him for a while, and he's one of the few people that I went to school with that I, still kept in touch with, and had on Facebook and Instagram or whatever, and just
that's cool.
I'm not saying this just to say it because he's here, but like I've always wanted him on the show in some capacity, whether it be just as like a guest host and I wasn't even thinking about co-host, but like just like let me see what it'd be like to have Justin on the show, and I got the courage to ask him, hey man, you want to come on? I have a wrestling podcast, and I know you like wrestling, so.
Justin, you got a great voice, man. You should be doing some shit with that. You have a very good inflection. You have a very unique inflection, bro.
Let me tell you something, my friend.
Tell me whatever you want with that.
So funny thing is, back in 2011, I got into YouTube and I uploaded wrestling videos, wrestling reviews on YouTube in 2011. And that didn't really go too much anywhere. Then I started a gaming channel in 2014, I want to say. Almost 7,000 subscribers later, I actually did I did another channel that I had where I did like some wrestling reviews, topics, things of that nature there as well. But work got a hold of me, and I couldn't do it full time anymore. So now I'm kind of back in a way, just only a couple of hours a week versus doing it every day. So who knows? Maybe that'll be something I'll get back into. But right now, my ventures is just my my website. Where I make T-shirts, and also as well with my business I have going on as well. So,
well, Drew knows how to pick them. Let me tell you that right now, Drew.
Yep.
You got to like this guy should be cutting promos, intros, and shit. Like you got to milk this cow, Drew. Milk it.
Oh,
milk the cow.
I don't know if he wants to milk my other.
No, you got to go with the hot hand there, Justin. You got to go with the hot hand.
You got to get it. Got to get it while it's hot, Justin. I mean, come on. He has a point.
Yeah, you got to strike while the iron is hot. But let me tell you something, Drew. I want to talk about Drew for a minute. Let me just tell everybody about Drew for a second. Drew, half Irish, half Iranian, 100% Texan, 200% adorable.
Oh, I love it.
And I mean that. I've been calling him that. I've been calling him adorable for too long. Like, I don't know why. I just kind of popped. You're just an adorable guy. You're adorable. You like cats. You know a lot about comics. You're very quick-witted.
I don't know about a lot about comics. I know enough.
Nah, you do. You know shit.
You blow me out of the water. You know shit. You know about shit that I don't
I'm 107 years old. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like,
dude, you've read. You know about shit that I don't know about. Like, I just know the basics.
Do you want to know something wild? I mean, I don't want to bring the night down, but obviously this is a very, very rough couple of days here if you're a wrestling fan, but for obvious reasons. But I didn't realize until about a half hour ago that I saw the Briscoes versus the SATs in Queens in 2001. I didn't know it at all. I just completely.
Wow.
I had no idea. And then I saw a picture from the show, and I go, "Oh my god, I was at this fucking show, like in 2001." And I have not thought about it maybe in almost like 18, 19 years. Like, it just would never occur to me until I saw a picture of it, and I was like, "Wow!" That just kind of freaked me out. You know what I mean? Like the way you get put in places. You know what I mean? And you get to meet people, and you get to see people, and cherish it, cherish stuff like that, because even little things like this that seem like a big deal right now. You're gonna get to a point in life, dude. I'm telling you. I'm an old guy. I'm a legit old fucking guy, and like. It's sad that I don't remember that. You would think I would have thought of that in a second and told everybody, "Oh my god, I saw this 22 years ago in Queens, ICW, with the Max brothers and Amazing Red, and I think the main event might have been Tommy Dreamer versus Balls Mahoney in a death match." I don't remember. I just don't. It's sad that you don't remember this shit. Mm-hmm. So I'll say this: hold on to the memories, Drucifer, because
yes, sir.
When you get older, the first thing that goes is remembering stuff like that. Like the way I forgot to remember to put my teeth in before I came on the air tonight. You know what I mean? Like, it's just it's old man shit. This is what I'm like, Scrooge McDuck without the money.
I think you got a nice chunk of change, but I get you, man.
I blew it. I just got another car, but an Acura. But the thing is, Drucifer, you are a very smart, supportive, adorable, versatile young man. Mm-hmm. And I thank you tonight. I thank you. I applaud you for your support. You've always been a loyal super.
Yes, sir.
You wear your love for the show on your sleeve. Obviously, you're a part of the community, clearly. You got to talk with a lot of people. I only wish, Drucifer, that when we did that massive hangout a bunch of years ago, that you could have been there. You missed out on a good.
I so wish I was there, but just money, man.
I know. We see that's I mean, that's the thing too. But I'm overdue. I got to talk to the soup guys, and I'm overdue for an impression or two. But let me tell you something. The Drew Yari Show, 5 years. I applaud you. I celebrate you. I am very interested in this co-host of yours, his voice. I kind of want to hire him to do some voices for me because he seems fascinating. And wow, Drew. I mean, I hope you're proud, man. I hope you're proud of yourself. You liked the medium. You reached out to people that you liked, and then you made connections with them. And now you have like friendship, like real legit friendships with them, man. It's a cool thing, dude. I hope you're happy with where you're at. Because I'm proud of you. I'm very, very glad to call you my friend. I super appreciate your support for not only just me, but obviously my family. You know what I mean? My personal life, and of course, the show life and the soup stuff. You're a good dude, man. You're a good egg, bro. You're a good egg. And by the way, eggs are expensive.
I was gonna say that eggs are fucking like $25 right now.
Yeah, I can't even afford an omelet.
Like off topic, like the Evil Dead trailer, where like
the girl, so good.
Oh, I love it, and where like the girl comes in, she just starts throwing eggs on the fryer.
Yeah, with the in the shells on the fryer.
And like Betty, my fiance, she was like, why the fuck is she throwing all those eggs down there? You know how expensive eggs are.
That's how you knew she was evil, because she was wasting the eggs.
Oh,
but when you're not getting married this year, are you?
We're gonna get married next year. The plan is at the moment is we're thinking about possibly getting married at the courthouse and then having like the reception 2 days later, because the plan, well, for her, she's always wanted to get married on Halloween.
Oh, that's awesome.
And Halloween in 2024 falls on a Thursday. And we were thinking about having the reception on the Saturday, and that would be De los Muertos, Day of the Dead.
Day of the Dead.
Oh, yeah, okay.
What a great sign for a wedding. I can tell you that right now, because, a wedding and a funeral, kind of the same thing, just different outfits, really. Wow, yeah. I'm excited for you, man. I hope you're happy. I hope you're proud of yourself. Celebrate you tonight. Celebrate you. Find a way to celebrate yourself.
I'm celebrating now because I have my friends on.
There you go. But I'm going to let you enjoy your evening. I'm going to say thank you. I'm going to say congratulations. I'm going to say keep up the good work. And if you ever need anything, me, my brother, the soup guys, the Break the Apocalypse guys, you got a lot of people, dude. You got a lot of people that consider you a friend. And
yes,
I hope you do another 5 years. I might not be alive for it. But,
you're going to be alive, trust me.
I might not want to be alive in 5 years. I should have paraphrased that. I might not want to be alive in 5 years.
I don't blame you.
These 50s hit you like a wall, man. It's like 50s dope. It's awesome. And then like 6 months in, you're like, what is this? What is this?
Put you in the ice. Put him in the ice.
Dude, it's this great joke. I'm gonna let you go, but I'll let you get back to it. But it's this funny thing that Joe Numbers told me a bunch of years ago when I told him about getting older. And he goes, "You're like Louis C.K. now." He was like, "Well, you just go to the doctor and you go, hey, I can't raise my arm," and he goes, "Yeah, that's just your arm now. That's it. That's just that's it." Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's no like, hey, it really hurts when I do this. It goes, "Yeah, it's just gonna hurt. That's it. Nope, that's it." That's what your 50s is like. Like, you know what I mean? It's and me, I take care of myself, and it's still a self-defeating prophecy. But congratulations, Drew Yari. I love you. I consider you a friend in all of my multiverses. You are my friend. Justin, absolute pleasure, bro. I'm sorry, go ahead, Drew.
I've loved you in every universe, Draper.
I love you in every universe. Well, listen, in every universe, you would still be my friend. Justin, I'm gonna follow you, man. I hope you get back to doing the gaming and shit. I'm sure you're very good at it.
Appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. I appreciate that, and nice meeting you.
All right, nice meeting you. And listen, God bless the Drew Yari Show. God bless Spinebuster Tees, and more importantly, God bless Texas.
Hell yeah,
Drew.
Texas.
Congratulations. You know I love Texas, bro. Congratulations.
Thank you so much, Draper. It means the world to me that you came on, and thank you for the kind words, my friend. And hopefully I can have you back on here a lot sooner rather than later.
Yeah, just call my agent. All right. Listen, Justin, take care. And you guys have a good night.
Take care, man.
Bye.
I'll call Pablo. That was
I
John.
mean, he didn't mention Alexis. You know what I mean? He should have mentioned Alexis, too. You know, Alexis, Texas.
Alexis, Texas. That was John Draper, people. We're waiting on a few more guests, but we'll get the news out of the way. Pinche hot pot, come mierda. Ooh, Anna with the Spanish. So let's talk about the news, people. Rather sad news. So we'll get the sad stuff out of the way, and we'll talk about the good stuff. So as you guys know, yesterday, Jay Briscoe of the Briscoe brothers, along with his brother Mark, passed away at the age of 38. He was in a car.
Well, Mark didn't pass away. It was just Jay that passed away.
No. I meant what I was saying was like Jay Briscoe along with his brother, the Briscoes.
Okay.
Not both of the Briscoes passed away. I'm sorry, guys. Let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. I know that sounded confusing. I'm sorry. So Jay Briscoe Jesus Christ. I'm just going to talk about Jay Briscoe. So I sound like an asshole right now. Okay, take two. Jay Briscoe, of the famous Briscoe brothers tag team, which are considered maybe even the greatest Ring of Honor tag team and one of the best tag teams in wrestling in general, passed away yesterday at the age of 38. Was in a car accident where it was him and his wife and his two kids. His wife survived. His two kids had to be rushed to the hospital. I know one of them is okay. I believe one of them is in surgery. I don't know if both of them were in surgery. Were both of them in surgery? Justin, do you know?
No, one is in critical but stable condition. I believe it was the younger one, and I believe the older one of the two was getting back surgery this afternoon. And I don't think the wife was in the car accident. It was the because the wife posted on social media. So it was just Jay and the two children that were in the car. The person that hit them, they were driving like a pickup truck. They were both driving pickup trucks. They veered into the other lane. I think it may have been like a one-lane road, like those country roads. It may have been like a one-lane road. I don't know why. I don't know how. What happened? Why this person just went head on with Jay Briscoe and his two children there? But that driver died, and Jay Briscoe unfortunately died as well.
I have the Delaware State Police issued official statement.
Right.
So I'm just going to read it. State Police investigating two-vehicle fatal accident. The Delaware State Police are investigating a fatal accident that occurred in Laurel late yesterday afternoon that resulted in the deaths of two people. On January 17, 2023, approximately at 5:09 p.m., a 2019 Chevrolet Silverado 1500 was traveling westbound on Laurel Road just west of Goose Nest Road. At the same time, a 2016 Chevrolet Silverado 2500 was traveling eastbound on Laurel Road in the same vicinity. For unknown reasons, the driver of the Silverado 1500 pickup truck failed to remain in her lane, crossed the center line, and entered the eastbound lane of Laurel Road directly into the path of the Silverado 2500. This resulted in a head-on collision between the two pickup trucks in the eastbound lane. It continues. What the hell? All right. The driver of the Silverado 1500 identified a 27-year-old Lillian Turnahan of Frankfort, Delaware, was wearing her seatbelt. The driver of the Silverado 2500 identified as 38-year-old Jamin. Hopefully I'm saying this right. Jamin or Jamin?
I think it's Jamin, I think.
Jamin Pugh of Laurel, Delaware, was not wearing a seatbelt. Both drivers were pronounced dead at the scene. The two passengers in Pugh's pickup truck, identified as his 12-year-old daughter and 9-year-old daughter, were both properly restrained. Both girls were taken by ambulance to an area hospital and were admitted in critical condition. Alcohol involvement in this crash is unknown. No other vehicles were involved in this collision. The roadway was closed for approximately 4 hours while the scene was investigated and cleared. The Delaware State Police Troop 7 Collision Reconstruction Unit continues to investigate the incident. Troopers are asking anyone who witnessed this collision to please contact yada yada yada, and just it's basically just letting anyone know what happened. So basically in the police report, or the other driver that hit Jay's car, it's not really clear what she was doing. Maybe she was drinking, or maybe she was texting and driving or whatever, but she did not properly remain in her lane, and unfortunately it caused the deaths of not just her but also Jay. And luckily his kids are okay, and
you like to hope, you know what I mean?
Right. Not to sound grotesque or anything, but it's just the only good thing out of this is the kids were okay, but Jay unfortunately lost his life, 38 years old, and he was going to turn 39 this month or next month.
Next week.
Next week, Jesus Christ, fuck.
I believe next week. Because today is his bro's birthday. Today's Mark Briscoe's birthday.
Fuck.
Today's his birthday, man.
I'm gonna patch in another caller. Give me one moment.
Yeah.
But this is obviously sad. Jay Briscoe. Jeff, what's up?
Happy anniversary, Drew.
Oh, thank you, Jeff.
A big accomplishment.
It's a rather big accomplishment from what I heard. How are you, man?
I am well, recovering from the strain B flu.
Ooh, boy. That's not bueno.
The strain B flu is a combination of the A and B flu together, which makes me question why it's not called the strain C flu. But I guess nobody really wanted to answer that silly question.
Right. So, since you're on, we're talking about Jay Briscoe.
I heard.
Yeah. You've been a pretty big proponent for Ring of Honor, and I know. I know you've kind of followed their careers a lot more closely than me. I'm just being honest. Unfortunately, I didn't get to follow the Briscoes' career as much as I probably should have. But it's just I've seen their matches. I mean, Jay was obviously very good. They're obviously a very good tag team, and Jay was a Ring of Honor champion. He beat Kevin Steen. So much respect to both of them, and also of course Jay. An amazing career. I mean, you look at all these tweets flooding out. Granted, yes, there's always going to be the thing of like when anyone dies, they're always going to be immortalized. But with Jay, I guess it seems different because
this one felt different. This one felt different for sure. Yeah.
Like he was. I mean, was it fair to say that he was a legit star in the indie scene, not in Ring of Honor?
I will say this: the Briscoes is the greatest independent tag team of all time.
Right.
They're the greatest tag team ever who was never in a big time promotion. Was never in WWE, right? They had that tryout, never made it. They never went to TNA. They maybe were kind of going to AEW, but due to reasons, they weren't going to be there. They are the greatest tag team to never ever be in a big promotion.
Well, technically they were in Impact during this past year for part of the year.
Yeah, you're right about that, but
not
the biggest time. So yeah.
No, during maybe the smallest times. But I mean, I think that's a really fair way to describe them. I was purposefully silent when Drew asked the question because I don't know the answer, how to describe whether or not they're stars or not. It's almost like they're an indie act that always stayed indie, but somehow were legends simultaneously. The only other person I can think of that is maybe a Homicide. That like everyone sort of knows who Homicide is, but you haven't necessarily seen him. All the others that were at that level got to the next level. Whether it was AJ, whether it was Samoa Joe, more recently a bunch more guys with AEW, the door got open for them. And even with NXT, that sort of took people like Red Dragon, to allow themselves to go to the next level. So, yeah, I think that the Briscoes were stars, but I think they were like underground stars, but everyone heard of them. So like whoever the biggest punk rock star, like the Sex Pistols were the biggest punk rock band. Like most people hadn't seen them or maybe knew like 2 songs, but everyone heard of them. I think maybe they were like the most successful punk rock band, whatever the equivalent is in wrestling.
But like going back to what Justin said, where he said this death felt different because it just seems like everybody in the whole wrestling world, whether it be WWE, AEW, Impact, NJPW, just all had stories about meeting Mark and Jay. And let me kind of re-ask the question. Like with Jay, do you think Jay between the two was kind of the bigger star?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's unquestionable. I mean, Jay was a former world champion. Jay was the better talker. They had a few feuds, and Mark, tried to do things on his own, and he had success within the Ring of Honor world. But outside of it, I don't think he would have. But I think that they had this interesting combination of really always working hard, giving it their all, making every match look good as shit. Being true to who they were, whatever that was, being hardcore, never leaving the Sandy Fork, chicken farm. I mean, they're still, that family still runs that chicken farm to this day, and being, sort of everybody's underground favorite wrestlers. So they're almost unique in wrestling. I mean, it's like Terry Funk would have been there, except Terry Funk was in the NWA and the WWF and everywhere else. They sort of got frozen. But the other thing about it is that, at least as far as we know, this was an accident. This was not his fault. There was no chemical inducement. So he's so young. It was a tragic accident, probably the most common kind of thing of all, a car accident. But for worse, not for better, that's not how most pro wrestlers die young. So just everything about it was strange, and for a guy who looks so extraordinary, I mean, it's such a tragically ordinary way to die. That I think it just took. You're right; it hits differently, and like. Was Jay Briscoe more important in my life than, Randy Savage or to wrestling than Chris Benoit, Owen Hart? No. But, I don't think this is any differently just because it's the most recent. I've been struggling with that a bit of the day. I'm not sure what the answer is, but, they definitely occupied rarefied air, but sort of stayed... stayed unsullied by ever selling out. They never sold out, whatever that means. If it, you can respect that or not, but they never did, and they had opportunities.
I mean, yeah.
Say this is that. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Drew.
No, go ahead, man.
Oh no, I was just gonna say this is that like the Briscoes are Ring of Honor. Like, when you think of Ring of Honor, you think the Briscoes. You think the Briscoes, you think of Samoa Joe, maybe Nigel McGuinness, maybe, Bryan Danielson, right? If you were to make a Rushmore, the Briscoes is there in your Ring of Honor Mount Rushmore. And it's so telling that wrestling, at the end of the day, no matter who we like, we can love Ring of Honor, we can hate it. We can love AEW, we can hate it. We can love WWE, we can hate it. Wrestling, at the end of the day, is a family. And you saw that yesterday with all the massive amount of tweets that came out from Dax Harwood to Triple H to, Bully Ray, just all walks of life. NXT last night, in the middle of the show, they went to the announcers, and, they announced the death of Jay Briscoe, and that's kind of shocking because, you think about this 2 years ago, they wouldn't do that, that shows on how different WWE is, as of today, but that's a different story, but, it just shows that wrestling, at the end of the day, no matter who you like, who you hate, it's a brotherhood. It's a family at the end of the day. And one more thing about NXT, the New Day was supposed to do a promo. Well, they did a promo last night. Supposed to do a funeral for Pretty Deadly, but they changed that segment because of the death of Jay Briscoe. So they just had to change it on the fly. So I'm not too sure if anyone heard about that, but that's what happened there last night on NXT. But to me, it's like it's obviously very sad, man. And the biggest thing that I'm thinking about right now is I'm thinking about his wife. I'm thinking about his wife, and I believe he had 3 kids. So I think it was all 3 girls. So I guess the other sister and the wife just right now probably at the hospital right now. I would like to assume right now with their children, I should say. So it's very sad. You know what I mean? Unfortunately, we're gonna get deaths like this in wrestling. Out of our control, right? We've been through many deaths, like the Eddie Guerrero death and Owen Hart live on Over the Edge '99. You get Brian Pillman, just all these different types of deaths. You mentioned a car accident death. I think the Junkyard Dog died from a car accident as well. Those are the only 2 I can really think of that passed away from a car accident. But the fact of the matter is, we're going to get these deaths, unfortunately, and it's out of our control. It's just us to, for now, to appreciate. Whenever we see these guys in the ring, appreciate for what they're doing in the ring, right? If you ever get the chance to meet them, I was kind of mentioning earlier, I met Jazz and Ronnie Mack on Saturday at a wrestling event I went to here, and talking about how down there Jazz was. I was talking to her for about like 6 to 7 minutes. You know what I mean? And she was just so down to earth about with the conversation. You know what I mean? That's stuff that that like you should think about and take away. Because at the end of the day, these guys are giving their bodies, their lives for this business. At the end of the day, I know that sounds cliche and. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's what it is. That's what it is. And and the fact that, he was taking his girl, I believe he was either picking up his girls from school or he was taking them to cheer practice. Either or, it just shows that at the end of the day that Jay was a family man. That's why I got a lot of the tweets that I saw last night, that Jay was a family man. He loved his children. And that he loved the business, he loved his brother, he loved wrestling, and that he just wanted to just be a success. So, but it's very sad, very very sad that happened to him. And again, like I said, I'm just thinking about his wife right now at this time, and and the condition that she's gonna have to go through over the next not just this year, but the next 5 years, 10 years. And unfortunately, being a widowed single mother, that's just heartbreaking. Very heartbreaking.
Hey, RJ, what's up, man?
Hey, what's going on? Happy 5-year anniversary, man.
Hey, man, appreciate it, man. Appreciate you for coming on, dude.
Oh, absolutely. You didn't think I was gonna show up?
You're gonna be fast when you're late. I knew that.
Yeah, no, I was tired and I had a bad headache, so. It's kind of slow getting out of bed, but yeah, no, man. We're talking about the Jay Briscoe situation, huh?
Yes, sir. We I already talked about because the police report from Delaware, the Delaware State Police report, I already read about it, and what were your overall thoughts about it, and also just Jay Briscoe's career in general? Like, where do you see him as far as like not just Ring of Honor but wrestling in general?
Well, let me go back to the situation. Well, I woke up yesterday and the first thing I saw was rest in peace Jay Briscoe, and I'm like, wait, hold on, what the fuck? What happened? Now, mind you, I had gotten up because my mother had dropped off something to me. So I got up around 6 o'clock-ish. So I was kind of struggling to fall back to sleep. And then when I eventually did, woke back up, that's what I saw. Like, ain't no way. And then, of course, I hopped on the Google machine and saw what happened. I'm like, oh God. And then I heard there was a possible report on more casualties, and I'm like, oh no, nah, ain't no way, man. So now I thought about the children because I did see the video of him dancing and practicing with his daughter, chin moves, and I was like, dude, oh, that's crazy. Looking back on it now, you know,
I can't watch that. I really can't watch that, dude.
Yeah, that's just it tugs at the strings. It really does. But as far as Jay Briscoe as a wrestler and everything like that, I got a chance to see Jay Briscoe really, really young in his career, like around 2002, 2003 ish. My brother was a huge Ring of Honor fan, and he would show me frequent stuff from them. And every time I would go to New York during the summer times, back when I was still living in South Carolina the first time, you know, we used to go to Ring of Honor shows all the time. So, yeah, it was really fun to see him grow and evolve over the years, from him being a young gunner in the overall singlet to, you know, wearing the American flag shorts with the with the rebel flag tied around his bald head, you know. And he definitely he evolved over the years, man. He morphed into a young, like he said in that promo that somebody put on YouTube. He went from a pale ass skinny little kid to a very, very badass looking dude, you know. So, and getting to watch him, he put on some great matches, was a part of some great angles that I got to see in person, or, you know, obviously on TV or on video demand. He really did a lot of stuff to put over his passion for the business, and you could tell it. He was one of those guys that made you believe, like my friend Deuce said, he made you believe in everything that he was doing. It wasn't an act, it wasn't a game with him. He wanted you to believe that he is Jay Briscoe. He is going to whoop somebody's ass. That him and his brother are one of the baddest tag teams in the goddamn planet. So, yeah, rest in peace, Jay Briscoe, man. Yeah, dude had an unbelievable career as far as, like, especially when he was pigeonholed in Ring of Honor for obvious reasons that I don't even want to get into. But yeah, for him to be pigeonholed there forever, he made the best of it. He definitely made the best of it. He didn't rest on his laurels. He didn't be like, man, you know, I'm so beyond Ring of Honor. You know, they can't keep me here forever. He didn't slack off. He came and he busted his ass with his brother, found different ways to keep himself in the mix, to keep himself invested. And he put over younger guys. He did a couple of heel turns that were pretty convincing, of course. And, like, he always found the way to make it work, despite being blackballed from everywhere else, especially on anywhere else that had TV. He found a way to make it work and worth his while. And I appreciate that a whole lot, too. Because a lot of people can't handle that. Once you get blackballed from the business, kind of, you can't handle that. There's no way up. There's no way to shake this feeling or whatever. There's nothing else to talk about and discuss. But Jay Briscoe really made it work. Him and his brother both.
So. Not to mention that they had 3 of the greatest tag team matches that you'll ever see this past year, and the fact that they were on such a high, you know, winning the tag team championships in that great dog collar match, and just for this to happen is just tragic, man.
Yeah, and the day before Mark's birthday too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean,
does anyone here watch Yellowstone?
What was that?
Do you guys watch Yellowstone?
I heard it's a good show. I never watched an episode before.
Watched one episode.
All right. Well, earlier this season, they had to take the Cowboys from the cows. They had to bring them in for something. It was the branding, all of the fields, whatever. And one of the old cowboys died on the trail. He died in his sleep on his bedroll, looking up at the stars, and they said that's a cowboy's death. And they had to come back and tell the wife who was waiting, because there was a whole big to do there, and because John Dutton's the governor now, all the news was there to catch it, and he wasn't he wasn't down taking care of government work, but they caught him in this moment where he's delivering news of the death and the story of, this is exactly how every cowboy wants to die. And I know it's not exactly the same, but after the trilogy, in, AEW adjacent Ring of Honor, with 3 of the most memorable pay-per-view tag team matches maybe ever. And they did have, I think they had the NWA tag team titles, and I think they had the Impact tag team titles for short spans this year. I'm not really sure about either. But it's almost like going out on the top. I mean, they didn't retire or whatever, but and they weren't an old cowboy. If there's ever a wrestler's way to go out, this might be at the top. And I know this probably sounds silly to a lot of people, and it feels silly saying it, but I just kept hearing that image. This would be Jay Briscoe's, or as close to Jay Briscoe's version of a cowboy death as there would be. I mean, you don't die in the ring. You don't want to do that. Obviously, someone else passed away, and I think that his at least one of his daughters is injured, and let's hope everyone else is makes full recoveries, and the family supports them and all their friends support them. But just in the vacuum of this little instant, it just struck me as this might be the time to go. If you had to pick a time to go in your biography, this might have been it if you were him.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. You have a point. It's almost,
I know it's not a book. It's not a story. This is real life, so that's not how things go.
I mean, it's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of a grim way to look at it, but it makes sense because it's just like the last time we saw him, he was on top. He had, what a lot of people will consider 3 of the greatest tag team matches that people have ever seen. And, a month later, it's like, all right, it's my time. So not
to mention that they've been like a consistent top tag team year in and year out every single year. Like it's exactly. Like it just shows the testament to them. And I think the past this past year, I think they were number 5 or something like that. Number 3.
3.
Yeah, number 3 in the PWI. So it's, I mean, That's all you need to know right there.
Yeah, they kept themselves very busy despite not getting a chance to be on television. Like they were in GCW, House of Glory, like Jeff said, NWA, Impact. Like they kept themselves really busy despite not getting a chance to get on television. So and the one thing I always say about Jay and Mark too is that they can go away from the tag team stuff, and they can have good singles showing as well. And Jay was also successful in that field too. Being Ring of Honor champion, I think twice. I think it's twice. He had it twice.
Yeah,
and like he had great runs. And that first run, the way it ended, and then they flipped it into a storyline. That was some good shit, man. Because you felt the pain and the conviction in his heart and his chest. And you're like, oh man, this guy's gotta be delusional, right? They're only doing it for him, but like he don't see it that way. He's a man's man. He wants to go out there and fight it out. He didn't lose the title, so he felt that he was entitled to being a champion. So yeah, I definitely, that's one of, if anybody wanted to know one of my favorite storylines, it's definitely that one.
And like I was mentioning earlier, the wrestling world, not just AEW, Ring of Honor. WWE, because WWE, granted, it's full of former Ring of Honor stars. Like Sami Zayn had a touching tribute about the Briscoes, and I know Big E had a story about him, and Triple H made a nice tweet about him, which is kind of like off topic but not topic. Like there was a list that was leaked where it was just showing different names that I guess either Triple H or whoever won it in NXT, and the Briscoes were on top of that list, or like at the top of the list, or not, maybe not the top of the list, but like they were definitely pretty high up there. And me and Justin have always said, at the end of the day, Triple H likes wrestling. He's a fan of good wrestlers, and he respects good wrestling. I'm pretty sure there was a part of him that always wanted the Briscoes, but There was always that but. We want the Briscoes, but A, B, C, and D, which was just stupid. Kind of like these fucking morons on Twitter that want to bring up shit that he said years ago, which he's been going out of his way to apologize for the past fucking 9
years,
10 years. And it's just, people just can't let that shit go.
No, of course, because everybody wants to be on their high fucking horse. I'm the moral police, but yet, no, I got some of the nastiest shit in my closet. Go fuck yourself. Seriously.
Like Effie. Effie, who's a known gay wrestler. That's his gimmick, pretty much, is that he's a gay wrestler. He even said that the Briscoes fucking welcomed him with open arms in the locker room. Other wrestlers
I want to get started on Effie right now because.
Right, but I'm just making a point. I'm just trying to.
Yeah, no, I hear you, but yeah, he's he's not innocent himself on.
Well, no. He said good things about the Briscoes.
no, I'm not talking about the Briscoes. He said something else this past week that was just utter retarded. But yeah.
But him, other wrestlers like Sonny Kiss, people in the LGBTQ community have said nice things about the Briscoes. That they said they're always very nice and kind to him. So, and it's just like RJ said, who's a saint? Like nobody's a saint.
Who gave somebody a badge? Oh, you're Captain Moral now, man. Sit on your ass. Sit on your goddamn ass. That's not no judge. I pride myself on having a no judge free zone, man. Because guess what? Like I don't want to be that guy. You're going to be a giant hypocrite. Oh, I can't believe you did this, and I turn around and do the same thing you just did a couple weeks later. Nah, fuck all that.
By the way, is there actually a difference in the connotation of rest in peace and rest in power? Because until today or yesterday, I'd never heard that. I mean, not that it's particularly important either way, but, is that real?
Yeah, it's real.
I say rest in power.
Yeah. Rest in peace, rest in power, yeah.
But do they mean two different things? Like, is what that... I don't... First of all, I don't... I never heard of that guy, and I looked and he has about 253 followers, and I'm not someone who judges someone by the amount of followers, but the amount of amplification he's gotten from people saying, who's this, get this guy off his high horse, he's probably never gotten so much attention in his entire life. But he said what he said was that rest in peace, is generic. Rest in power is reserved for those who died at the hands of or fighting oppression. And if that's true, I never heard it before. And if it is true, well, I guess rest in power maybe doesn't apply to Jay Briscoe. It's sort of a completely, to me, an unimportant side issue. But I had never heard that before, and I'm not sure if that's correct.
Well, this is just for me. When I say rest in power, maybe it's because I'm an atheist. I look at rest in power as that you're gone, but you're not forgotten. Like you're still always going to be here. So that's kind of how I look at rest in power. And yeah, that idiot, who was like, why are we saying rest in power to a white guy with dreadlocks who tried to capitalize on black culture and like, fuck you. Seriously, fuck you.
He was
yeah, but there are some other people saying rest in honor too as well, which I thought was pretty cool.
I like
that. Yeah, that's actually clever. That's both respectful and appropriate.
Exactly.
I'm not saying I don't mind if you say rest in peace to rest in power. I just wasn't sure if there was some wide-held definition of the term that actually wasn't appropriate. And it sounds like that might have just been that guy's view. And if that's the case, he doesn't get to make the rules, nor do people who agree with him. And it's words. Even if you believe that, it's not the time or the place, and it's not something that you need to correct someone about. Maybe if your best friend or your significant other uses inappropriately, you tell them in private. But it's not that important to say to the world just how aware you are of everything.
Yeah,
exactly.
That dude made his bed and he's lying in it. That's for sure. Because everybody, including some of my friends in certain group chats, lit his ass up.
Good. Yeah. Live by social media, die by social media. and you have to do something really serious, because I have said some, outrageous things on social media, both that I thought were extremely clever and others I thought might be extremely controversial, and for the most part, nothing, crickets. I mean, so you got to do something that really bothered a lot of people to get to that point. And so, I read it and I'm like, I had sort of the same reaction you guys did, which is just like, shut up, who are you? I just didn't know if there was actually some real distinction there. Not that I thought it was important in the moment, but I would want to know that going forward. But Rest in Honor, I think actually that one, had I been clever enough to come up with that one, like that one would have been the way to go.
Yeah, it would have been more fitting given, what he gave his body to.
Yeah.
For sure. So there was, I guess this was from Instagram here, and Ashley Pugh, who is Jay's wife. Just want to read this real quick. If you guys haven't seen it, I believe this is her Instagram, and Jake Hager actually put this on his Instagram, a screenshot of it. It says, "We need prayers. Gracie's on her way into surgery on her back. Jamin, I can't say his name, Jamin, I believe, would want the whole world praying for his little girl. We believe in the power of prayer. Pray for the doctors and everyone working on her. Pray for her precious legs to move again. Pray for Jaylee, who has some pretty serious injuries, but is stable and resting. Pray for Gannon, waiting at home. Pray for strength for us, for all of us. We have a long road ahead of us." And she posts a picture with her Jay, and her two girls in their little cheerleader uniforms. So, it's
incredibly sad, man.
Depressing.
Yeah, and John Alba, who apparently Jay was not wearing a seatbelt. And John Alba, tweeted in his tweet, about the sadness and expressing all the appropriate things, said, guys, wear your seatbelt. And people gave him shit for that, like it was offensive, like he was victim blaming. It's like, no, so if your friend dies of a motorcycle accident, they weren't wearing their helmet, you say, wear a helmet. I mean, don't let this happen to you. I mean, it's like we've completely erased the concept of being able to learn life lessons from others' mistakes. It isn't like, oh, good, the guy died because he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. What a bad guy. No, it's like, this could have been preventable. He may be alive today if he was wearing a seatbelt. Look, I don't wear my seatbelt all the time. I hate wearing a seatbelt. It's uncomfortable. I'm fat, the whole thing. But, this will make me think. I mean, I do generally on longer trips, but now maybe I'll get more responsible all the time. And I don't think there was anything wrong with John Alba saying wear your seatbelt. I mean, if somebody died of COPD or lung cancer, and you said, just remember, folks, just don't smoke. It doesn't make you a bad person for throwing that in there. I mean, it's like a public service announcement.
Yeah.
Well, first thing, Jeff, you're not fat. You're luscious. I'm just gonna put that there. Second, comparing.
That's why I'm going to miss your 5-year anniversary. I mean, come on.
Got that right. Second part is, you're right. It's just comparing both tweets where the moron, is saying, oh, rest in honor, blah blah. It's like that's him being a fucking moron. With John Alba, that's like you just said, public servant. It's like, I'm just bringing up an example. It's like nowadays, whenever you watch a TV show and it's an episode about somebody committing suicide, for example, they'll always show a public service either before or after the episode saying, if you know anybody that needs help, call the suicide hotline at A, B, C, and D. Same thing with like if they did an episode about drunk not to say that Jay was drunk. I'm just giving an example. Drunk driving or not wearing your seatbelt. What John said was just him just like saying, listen, we all love Jay. We didn't want this to happen to him. We don't want this to happen to anyone else. So just please wear your seatbelt. Like that's more of a caring thing to say. That's right. Looking out for everybody else.
Yeah, I didn't find anything wrong with that either. Not at all. Like, people should be wearing a damn seatbelt. You never know who's on the other side of the tracks, as they like to say. You never know what they're capable of doing either. So you got to be careful. and wear your damn. Just wear the seatbelt. There's no harm in that.
Isn't it
harm in that whatsoever? Come on, people gotta fucking lighten up, man.
Don't people say don't text and drive or don't drink and drive after a tragic accident? I mean, what's like? People are always looking for reasons to get upset. I don't know if it's for attention or clout or likes or whatever, but it's just weird. It's just weird that everyone's looking to take a negative on everything about important stuff. I mean. It's like if you want to be a troll about wrestling, be a troll about wrestling. It's like the least important thing on earth. But this was real life. Pick your time. That's not your time.
Right.
Yeah,
absolutely agree.
And we're gonna unfortunately move on to another sad topic. We're getting the sad topics out of the way, and then we'll get to the less sad topics. And I just mentioned suicide. Kevin Nash on his podcast was talking about his son Tristan, who he lost. When did Tristan pass away? I forgot.
That was
a few months ago.
Yeah, it was a few months ago. Yeah, before Thanksgiving, definitely, or in October, something like that.
I think he passed away before Halloween, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. I think the reason for Kevin's soliloquy was that it was the 12-week anniversary.
Right. So he's saying on here on his Click This podcast with Sean Oliver, he's saying, today is week 12 that I lost my boy. Nash's co-host Sean Oliver was quick to announce the morbid comment, replying, I missed the quote, I'm sorry. He said, today is the 12th week that I lost my boy. Time flies when you got a gun in your mouth. I mean, time flies when you're having fun. Sean Oliver, who's the co-host of the show, was quick to denounce the morbid comment, replying, don't play like that, you have guns, so you don't say those things. Nash doubled down, saying, I can do whatever the fuck I want to do, as long as I leave a note. And Nash says he struggles to find a reason to get out of bed every morning, but received words of support from fellow wrestler Tyrus. And then mentioning the conversation changed to how Nash is actually coping with the tragic loss. The wrestler says it's much easier to tell everyone he's doing fine, when in reality it couldn't be further from the truth. I just want to take this just to say, we don't need another death in wrestling. We don't need another tragic death. There was another quote that I saw when Nash was saying that wasn't in that article, when he said, I'm just paraphrasing, when he said, before I used to wake up and there are 3 people in this house, and now every morning I wake up there's only 2, and I have to deal with that reality. And it's just, all we can say is that we hope Kevin is okay. We hope Kevin can, be able to. Sure. The hardest thing to do is to be able to get out of bed every morning and just, put your feet on the ground. Like, that's the hardest part. And then after that, like, you hope nothing bad happens. You hope that you don't see that article. And I hate to be morbid, guys, but it's just, I'm a Kevin Nash fan. I've always liked Kevin Nash. I've liked him more as a personality outside the ring. His podcast and his interviews, and I hope Kevin's okay. Just anyone listening to this, if you know somebody, or if yourself, if you're going through something, just reach out and talk to somebody about it. Call the suicide hotline, talk to a friend, talk to a counselor, talk to a family member. Just talk to somebody. Never be afraid to talk to somebody and admit you need help.
For sure.
But, go ahead.
I think we need to actually spread light on, because I know this is morbid right now, but I think we need to give a little attention to. Did anyone see what Amari Miller put on her TikTok?
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, I was wondering if that was going to come up, because she had a failed, thank goodness, attempt last week.
Yep. She had a failed suicide attempt last week, and
Jesus Christ! Happy 5th anniversary, guys! Happy 5th anniversary, guys! Yeah.
Right.
We're talking about. I'm sorry, guys. That's just how I cope. Go ahead, Justin.
We love death. No, I'm just kidding.
That's around the arsenic.
but just she put on her I guess I was on Twitter or TikTok, but she put everything isn't what it seems. Mental health is hard. We all should speak out, even though I know it's hard. You are all loved. Fight through with me, please. I'll show that this is not for a sympathy, but to relate and know that you're not alone, and I'm here for anyone that needs an ear to listen. She did a whole bunch of hashtags after that, but she put on her TikTok there, and it was like a 20-second TikTok. It says in your attempt, it says, how long have you been since we lost last year? And it says 1 week. So basically it was saying, like, if your suicide went through, how long would it have been since we would have lost you? And it was said 1 week, and she posted that on the 16th, which was 2 days ago. So so she's in WWE, NXT. You know what I mean? She's a young prospect. I think she's very good in the ring. Like she can do a freaking 450 cleanly. Like, you know what I mean? Like she has some talent. And the fact that, she's on TV maybe every other week, but she's definitely on Level Up.
Yeah, a lot. She was just on there Friday.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that
she's Battle Royal on last Tuesday. I mean, she was
exactly. And the fact that she's on TV, it doesn't matter because there's obviously something going on with her that she's not happy about with herself, her family, her situation. She probably wants more for herself, and you know what I mean, and she's probably not getting it, even though she is in WWE, and people will just absolutely quit their jobs right now to be a part of if they were pro wrestling for a living, and it's just sad, man, and thank God she's still with us, and you know what I mean, it's just I think unfortunately I think that story's going to get swept under the rug. And I think it was just kind of I just wanted to give it light, even though we're a small podcast, we're small here. We're the people who do hear this, or at least the people who are able to at least take away from that, because I think it's important that everyone gets a spotlighted in their situation, and just kind of us giving our thoughts and just kind of feel for her, man, because she's super young and super talented, and the fact that she has those thoughts is just saddening.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it's not. It's probably thoughts that she can't control. It's probably not just because she's not happy about things. She probably can't control them. We understand so little about the biochemistry of the brain and how to deal with it. I mean, there's so much guessing and just seeing what family of drugs works, and no one's really even sure exactly why they work. I mean, it's the whole thing's a little bit scary. We're very much in the dark ages when it comes to mental health treatment. So hopefully they'll just be able to find a different combination that will work for her, and hopefully it is something that can be corrected, and it isn't actually a deep sadness about her life, because from the outside looking in, you would think that she's right where a 24, 25-year-old in this would want to be. So anyway, glad that it failed, and that she's still with us, and it was good on Justin to raise it. I was going to raise it also, but definitely deserves attention. I mean, the scariest thing about Kevin Nash's thing is, one is that he's uber successful, but everyone understands the loss of a child and probably the guilt because his son had alcohol problems and probably learned them from his father and his friends, and that's part of the Kevin Nash coolness factor, is that he sort of lived that life. But when you say on a live mic, when you have 100,000 listeners, that all I need to do is leave a note, well, he just sort of did. I mean, you don't have to write a note when you've set it to 100,000 people, and it's going to get rebroadcast to 700,000 more once those words were uttered. So, I mean, I've heard since that he's fine. He's been to the gym since, that he was just, that I guess he uses the podcast sort of as his therapy, and if that's the case, okay. But I don't think either Kevin Nash or Amari Miller are listening to the show or talking to any of us, but I think I'm probably the worst person in the world to talk to, but if either one of them want to reach out to me, I'm available.
Yeah, if I were to tell Jeff my emotional problems, he would just say, "Stop crying, it's weird."
Probably.
Get over yourself, man. Come on.
Come on.
Stay where you are. I'm coming to slap you.
Yeah, I deserve a slap. Yeah, like we mentioned, it's just we hope Kevin's doing okay, and from what it sounds like, he's doing okay. And Amari, again, someone that young, just you hope nothing but the best for them. And quick question: does WWE have any mental health counselors or psychiatrists on staff?
I will say that they will have to. Being that big of a company, they will have to have some type of. I mean, because they have the alcohol rehab thing, that they send their wrestlers. I would like to think that they'll have something in place for that.
I hope so.
I mean,
all those months.
I mean, I hope so because mental health is kind of a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for? A lot more prevalent. Yeah, prevalent than it was back in the day. Because back in the day, if you were sad, the common thing to say is, "Oh, well, just get over it. You'll be fine," or "You have money, you're fine." Nowadays,
there's cocaine. So.
There's cocaine. There you go. And unfortunately, crack. Unfortunately, wrestlers back in the day, they to kind of drown their sorrows, they would go to substances. They would go to drugs. They would go to alcohol, women. Partying, and nowadays it's a lot less of that, but you kind of hope a lot of these wrestlers are okay, especially younger wrestlers. Nobody that young should die. Nobody of any age should die by taking their own life, except Teddy Hart, but that's another story.
Jesus Christ.
Fuck that guy. No, but in all seriousness, we hope Kevin is okay. We hope Amari is okay, and hopefully this is a lesson for WWE to kind of look into mental health and to help the wrestlers out, especially their younger wrestlers. But
yeah, I think it's important that they might need like a guidance counselor or some type of therapist on deck in the performance center. I don't believe they have a regular one on deck. I do believe they do have a guest one that goes around and speaks to the wrestlers every once in a while, or speaks to the people at the PC once in a while. But I don't think they have one there regularly.
I think it's important more than ever now to hire someone there permanently, who's there every day, Put them on the fucking payroll, right? Your mental health of your wrestlers is more important. It's probably one of the most important things. Have one at the PC, have one on the road with you, and they'll just travel with you. You know what I mean? So, that'll be. I think that'll be a pretty good thing to do. But what I know, I'm just a mark talking about this stuff. So
they can treat it like the substance abuse. That they'll pay for your rehab. It's not rehab, but they'll pay for your treatment. They'll pay for your evaluation and therapy for X amount of weeks. And I think it would be good to have a licensed clinical social worker or a psychotherapist go on the road with everyone. Embedded with them on the road for not big shows, just period on the road. Be a hell of a job for a psychotherapist as well. Put that on their resume. But I think that Justin once again is correct.
Yeah, Justin's been correct about a lot of things this past year.
I know.
A little bit too correct, if you ask me.
I know. You might become the Justin pretty soon.
Let me come loose. I have a time machine, baby, and yeah. No, just kidding.
Yeah.
No.
Go back in time and stop Vince from coming back to the company.
Lou, do you know there's something that's going to happen to Vince soon?
Oh.
Right now, I'm just kidding.
I hope so.
If something really does happen,
is he gonna die having a heart attack?
I didn't say I did not allude to him passing away. I just said something's gonna happen.
Baby, ride me, baby.
It's just gonna be Justin showing up in Vince's office with a crowbar, and Vince is like, "Paul, is this one of the Ring of Honor guys you signed?" And then Justin, I'm sorry, Vince, and just start wailing on him.
If the world ever needed a hero named Eva Marie, now is that time.
I would just go well on. Like, this is for Jeff Jarrett.
Hi, Jeff Jarrett.
And then Jeff Jarrett just comes in right behind me, and you know what he says, Drew? Baby. He says, "I'm back, baby." There you go.
Ain't that great?
Ain't that great?
It's gonna be like the scene in Office Space. It's just gonna be Justin and Jeff Jarrett and Triple H just taking turns kicking the shit out of Vince.
Yeah, and just Jeff Jarrett's music is playing the whole entire time too, as well.
I can't play it because
you turn the Turner channel. You have Jeff Jarrett with the mustache. You see him in WWE programming, no mustache. Not me, different guy.
All right, so let's switch gears. Let's talk about something less depressing and more comical. Yeah. Tony Khan. Tony Khan talked about the possible interests of purchasing WWE. He said on the Maggie and Perloff show, "I am interested in the news that there's potentially a sale process." Why the fuck is there an echo? Go away. Shoot. Certainly, I think we, the Khan family, shown that when there's accusations, transactions, we are capable of making the big purchases. The AEW president noted that his billionaire father, Shahid Khan, has done a quote-unquote great job putting resources into the Jacksonville Jaguars and the Fulham FC to build them up. Khan added that he and his family also shown that they can build a company from scratch with AEW. Yeah.
Okay.
And, there's more. AEW is my main focus, but certainly when that news is out there, I think it's very interesting. I think it's very preliminary to talk about that process, but if there is a process there, which it sounds like there may be, then I'm interested in being a part of it, certainly. And that's it.
Oh, God. Spare me.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to piss some people off right now, but out of everybody who's possibly interested in WWE, I would probably want Tony Khan probably in my top 2 or 3 to buy it. And I'm going to tell you why. If WWE gets sold to the Saudis, who will be in charge? Vince McMahon, right?
Vince.
Cool. Vince. A lot of these other companies may still keep Vince McMahon in charge. Possibly. Maybe. Most likely. I know for a fact that if Tony Khan buys it, Vince ain't going to be in charge. He ain't going to be in charge as far as creative is concerned. I will only keep Vince McMahon for business purposes, to make deals, to to be the talking head for negotiation. That's the only reason why I'll keep Vince McMahon. If TK and Father Shad buys WWE, which for the record, I think that's a very, very long shot. I don't think it's gonna happen, but I would kind of want it to happen. We saw what TK has done with Ring of Honor so far. It's not been great. That's because they don't have a TV deal. If they end up buying WWE, they're still gonna have a TV deal, obviously, because it's freaking WWE, right? It's just gonna be owned by Tony Khan, and obviously Tony Khan, he has his show on TBS. I totally think that TK, yes, he'll be involved with creative somewhat though, but I think he'll probably just leave it to Triple H. I think he may just leave it to Triple H and just let him do his thing and not have Vince involved in it whatsoever, right? That will just create the potential for all the. You want to know about the Forbidden Door? That is your ultimate Forbidden Door right there. May not be immediately, but that would happen too as well. And I think the wrestlers from AEW want it, and I think the wrestlers from WWE will want it as well. Again, do I think it's gonna happen? I don't think it's gonna happen. What I want it to happen, out of the top, that'll probably be within my top 3 to have them, Disney, and maybe Fox or NBC Universal, one or the other. You know what I mean? Definitely not the Saudis, right? The Saudis buy it, then we're all fucked. You know what I mean? The whole wrestling industry is
We
fucked.
want the Vince McMahon in charge.
Yeah, no.
We want Vince McMahon to book Ultimate Warrior.
Yokozuna.
Yeah, we want the Great Khali to come back. You know what I mean?
Good Lord. Khali versus Omos, main event WrestleMania.
Yeah, Jesus
How
Christ.
does that sound?
A
3 hour.
3-hour Iron Man match.
Oh God damn! Can Khali and Omos even go for 3 hours?
But anyway, so it's scary if the Saudis buy it, but at the end of the day, I don't think Tony Khan will buy it. But if there is smoke, there's fire with it. If it does happen, then I will be up for it, and I think it will probably be best for the rest of it and at the end of the day, it's gonna go to a wrestling guy, a guy that knows what needs to be done with it, not just these bunch of suits and things of that nature, and just guys who can just fuck up at any time. You know what I mean? It will actually go to a wrestling guy. I think it'll be better if Tony Khan ends up buying it, but I don't think it's gonna happen.
Let me patch in another guest. He just showed up.
More guests.
Ooh.
All right. Caller from Queens, you're on the air.
Hey, what's up, pricks?
Hey, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, guys?
It sounds like the old school Skype days, Kev.
Yeah, no, I don't feel like putting on headphones. I'm just talking to my computer from my couch.
It's all good.
I was watching Seinfeld. Yeah, I forgot it was Wednesday. I'm sorry. My days are very lost these days. But I wanted to come on a couple of minutes to say congratulations on 37 years in the business.
37, hell yeah, man. Yeah, I'm trying to surpass you, Kev.
That'll never happen, Drew. But
as long as I can surpass Impact. But go ahead.
Who's on here? Jeff and
Jeff and my co-host Justin.
Oh, what's up, Justin? What's up, Jeff? What's up, everybody?
What's going on?
I'm sorry again for being late. I will make it up.
And I mean, don't worry about it. I'm glad you came on anyway, just to say hi. It means the world to me.
And when I say I'll make it up to you, I mean I hope you forget about it and I don't have to do any favors in the future.
Yeah, I mean that's more likely to happen. I'll probably remember in maybe 3 months. But us
podcasters are famous for brushing things under the table and not talking about it later on.
But no joke, it does mean the world to me that you came on.
Could have been yours.
That's good. Did that no good son of a bitch brother of mine come on?
He did.
Oh, good. Okay. I mean, my lovely brother.
Your ever-during brother. He came on and he called me a cocksucker. It was fun.
Oh, nice. That's good.
Well, that's good. It fits. You've got the . And the cocksucker, so
It's all good.
But,
what did you guys talk about? Obviously, the Briscoe situation and Kevin Nash. A lot of dark subject matter today.
Yeah,
Yep.
It was. We got the depressing stories out of the way. Now we're talking comical stories about Tony Khan.
Oh yeah, I saw that interview with Nick Khan, basically putting him in the corner like a little boy, like a little bitch boy.
I love.
He's a nice kid, that Tony Khan. He's a nice kid.
He's a nice kid. We're actually about to.
Anybody can operate a business at a loss. It's true.
Yeah, I love that interview. Like Nick Khan, I was commenting on Kev's post. Nick is probably one of my favorite people now, just for saying that. He's like, yeah, pretty much anyone can run a business, and referring to Tony as kid. I loved it.
He sunned him. He sunned him, like we say on the streets. He sunned him.
Anybody can run a business, and anybody can have a podcast.
That is true too, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've had a podcast for 5 years. That just goes to show you anyone can have a podcast.
That's pretty. Is it the 5th year anniversary? Is it 5 years?
Yes, sir. 5 years.
Nice. That is a little bit of a milestone. I'll give you a little bit of props. I normally don't like to give you anything, but I will give you a little bit of credit. That's like I told Drew yesterday when I wrote him back. I hate you, but I kind of love you.
Hey, I'll take it. That's what my fiance says to me. I hate you, but I still love you.
That's what my mother says to me and my brothers.
That's what my dad would say to me every night when I don't go to sleep.
Oh Jesus!
Except he would just say I hate you and I wish I never had you. But
oh God!
I'm playing. My dad never.
Now?
My dad's a good guy. I'm playing.
That sounds like my dad.
Childhood trauma. Anyways,
oh man.
But Kevin, how's your night going so far?
It's going okay. It's been busy. It's been a very busy couple of weeks. So a lot of my coworkers are, believe it or not, took a vacation in January because January is kind of dead in the club business. But there's a lot of like preemptive strikes for the spring, so we've had a lot of bookings in January for the upcoming months beyond January. So for me, it's been busy. Everybody else is in Thailand and Turkey and Germany enjoying themselves, and I'm back here booking everyone and preparing the future for this club. Somebody's got to do it.
Yes, it's a dirty job, but someone's got to do it. You're right, and
and I don't. People say to me, "Oh, you want to take a vacation next?" And I'm like, "No, I don't leave America."
I mean, where would you go? What's your dream vacation?
Texas.
Ah, nice.
Austin.
There you go.
Austin, Texas. Where's the Stevie Ray Vaughan statue, Drew? Austin?
I'm assuming.
Yeah, you should know that.
There's a lot of things I should know, but I don't.
I say that every time I listen to the show.
Oh man.
But I guess kind of Kev, I know you're kind of busy, but let me ask you, like, give your quick thoughts on the Jay Briscoe situation. Just be quick if you want to be quick about it.
Sure. I talked about it today with Mish pretty in depth, but I'll say, what's the latest on his daughters as we're on this show at Wednesday night? Any new update on the two kids?
Just from what I heard, last that I heard that the daughter is in surgery. One of the daughters is in surgery, and one of the other daughters is in critical but stable condition.
Okay, what are they? 9 and 12, right? Ages?
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, I think he was taking them to cheerleading practice, from what I understand. It's just, and some people have harped on the fact that he wore a seatbelt, but since the other driver was wearing a seatbelt and died, I don't know if that would have helped Jay. But it's neither here nor there. The bottom line is, he died in the duty of being a good father, and I don't think him not wearing a seatbelt reflects on anything other than forgetfulness, or maybe he just thought it was a quick drive, dropped the kids off. We've all been there. I mean, I got in a car last night. My friend was just reminding me. I kept reminding you to put seatbelt. Same thing. You get in the car, you're yattering with your friends, and or you get in conversation, and sometimes you forget, even though it's a law and it's a thing. It's not like it's with some reckless abandon you don't put your seatbelt on. I mean, it does save lives, but sometimes it doesn't do anything. We'll never know. But the bottom line is he seemed to be a good father, husband. His thuggish, crazy character was just that. He seemed to be a pretty good guy. I've never seen, honestly, even with recent times of wrestlers passing away, this is the biggest outpouring of love I've seen in a long time. I mean, he's trending constantly, and everyone is talking about him. I mean, women wrestlers, old-time wrestlers, old school, new school. Everyone has like a Jay Briscoe story because I guess he's been around for 20 years and he's really, made the circuit. I mean, it looks like he's been anywhere and everywhere. And I told the story today. Me and Draper seen him their first year in the early 2000s, saw him in the Elks Lodge. And they were skinny, bland, baby face, clean shaven, crew cut guys that you would never think would evolve into what they were today. So I'll talk about the evolution of the Briscoes. Go look at a picture of them from 2002. It's amazing. It's the same two guys. But that's the whole thing, 20 years. The only thing, like I said, and I'll close with this, that I hate that they never got to be on the grandest stage of even, AEW television or even or WWE. I think that, what happened with Jay with, the homophobic slur from a decade ago, which he has apologized for over. And, again, that's said and done. It's too bad that they didn't get to find their way to NXT or any kind of WWE TV that they could have shown what they can do to a lot of people who never got a chance to see them. Them versus the Usos, I just think, we talk about dream matches. That would have been that's just written in the cards. That would have been epic. Those two teams complement each other so much. I always used to think the Usos were influenced by the Briscoe brothers, and even in their jargon, the way they talk and stuff like this. I mean, even with the down by day one, I think that's something the Briscoes would say. So, yeah, the dream match will never happen now. I don't know what happens to Mark Briscoe. I know it's his birthday today. That's even more rougher. He was only, a year younger than Jay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know what happens to the dude. Everyone's like, "Oh, push him as a single star." I don't even know if that dude's thinking about wrestling at this point anymore.
I wouldn't.
Be.
Yeah, it's again, Jay, I think, was a good solo champion. He was the only reason I watched Ring of Honor. That's no joke. I talked about it with Mish. I says, people would ask me, "Oh, why don't you like Kenny Omega? Why don't you like the Young Bucks?" Because I don't connect to them. I don't feel I know anybody like them. Exactly. But I feel like I know. I feel like I know Jay and Mark Briscoe. I feel like I work with them every week. I mean, I know guys just like that who work with me, work for me, and bands who play for me. Relatable is the best way I can describe those two guys. That death hit me hard. I was really bummed out last night. It affected me more than I thought it would. It really did. Like, it was really, really bothering me. And a lot of people were saying that online. I think it was because, again, he died in the course of dad duty, like just driving his kids somewhere. It wasn't on the road, and he wasn't being reckless and doing drugs and drinking in the car. He wasn't doing anything like that. So I think that's what shook us, is that, and that he made, you guys saw, he tweeted with the hat on 7 hours before. He had a tweet or a picture that he took with his brother at their house, all happy and good. And then 7 hours later, the guy's dead. So I think that's what shook a lot of us, I think, is because it didn't happen in some, unfortunate wrestling situation. It had nothing to do with wrestling. It had nothing to do with it. So, for once, it was something that could happen to really any of us driving along. Hey, I'm going to the store. Hey, I'm going down the road. Hey, I'm going to go get something to eat. I'll be back. 99.9% of the time, your girlfriend, your wife, your family expects you to return home without incident, correct? Yep. So that's, I think, what shook us all, is that shit. That could happen to any of us. So, yeah, it's really unfortunate. And, but the outpouring of love has been really, I think, if you could say anything positive, is seeing how well he affected the industry, and that everyone was saying, despite the character and the thuggish thing, in real life, behind the scenes, he was a sweetheart of a guy.
Right, because like Justin had mentioned earlier, because I was trying to, not trying to sound like, ghoulish or whatever, but like comparing, wrestler deaths, with kind of like with Brody, Brody had people saying he was a good dude, yada, yada, yada. I mean, again, I hate to sound like a dick about it, but like with Jay, Justin was saying this felt different because universally just felt like this guy was liked everywhere he went. And, I think Jay was probably even a bigger star. I mean, because he was a Ring of Honor World Champion, I think twice, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was twice.
And he was the bigger star of the two, and it just universally everywhere, WWE, AEW, NJPW, Ring of Honor, Impact, everyone had a story about him, and it was always positive. And
what the interesting thing is? Sorry to cut you off, Drew, but the interesting thing about it is you look at a lot of these people's stories, how much they admit to borrowing from the Briscoes.
Even New Day.
That's another point too.
Biggie admitted, he put quote unquote borrowed. We might have borrowed some things from their matches. The Usos, that's always kind of been said that when the Usos started doing I guess when they started doing their heel gimmick and not the the face paint gimmick, that it was similar to the Briscoes, and that wouldn't shock me if it was So they're very much an influential tag team that they're always going to go down as the greatest tag team to never be in WWE. Unfortunately,
yeah, man.
We'll say this real quick.
I'm gonna miss the hell out of Jay Briscoe's promos, man. That dude could cut a promo like it's nobody's business, man. And he was a big influence from some of my promos. Some little stupid little play promos I used to do. So yeah, like Jay Briscoe's definitely a big influence on that.
I just watched a promo he did when him and back in Ring of Honor, and they were feuding with, I think, Kyle O'Reilly and Davey Richards. And they were just
Funky with no mouthpiece.
They were just talking shit about UFC, and like one of them said, this is professional wrestling, sir. Terry Funk ain't wearing no mouthpiece. I can't do his voice. I'm sorry, but I thought that was a good promo.
I'll say this real quick. A lot of people who poured out on Twitter was not only people who wrestled in the ring with them, but people who looked up to the Briscoes, because you think about the Briscoes, they've been around for over 20 years, right? Mm-hmm. And the fact that some of these wrestlers that tweeted grew up watching the Briscoes, because 2001, 2002, that's when, things like this was going on, like, wrestling news and rumors and indie wrestling. It was really starting to give that rise in the early 2000s. And people were getting these Ring of Honor DVDs, and on damn near every DVD you see, you will see a Briscoes match on there. And people became fans of them. And the fact that, some of the wrestlers who spoke out yesterday, who are still young in the business, looked up to the Briscoes, and again, that just goes back to the point, how influential that they were, and that they still probably continue to be, going down the line, and so everyone felt some type of way, felt something, with the death of Jay Briscoe, not just from people, our age, legends. I saw Bret Hart, Iron Sheik, others who, I'm more sure Jim Cornette is gonna, when he does his podcast, he's gonna talk about, Jay Briscoe extensively, because I know he really loves the Briscoes.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, so it's, I know we've been talking about this for a while now, and deservedly so. He just deserves all the time in the world with this. But, again, and I'm gonna say it again, people felt different about this, because just the onpouring of it. And again, WWE, they never acknowledged deaths immediately. You know what I mean? They immediately acknowledged Jay Briscoe's death on NXT and changed the New Day segment, because it was supposed to be a funeral type segment in the light of the Jay Briscoe news. Like, that's just amazing to me. So
that's great awareness. I'm glad you read
great
awareness
on that. Great awareness.
By the way, has anybody else seen the Briscoes live before besides myself and Kevin?
I never have. No.
Unfortunately.
I'm in Texas, so they didn't come down here too often.
Yeah, I mean, lots of them.
Yeah, they never really came to South Carolina either, but it was either going to New York or going to Asheville, North Carolina. Right. That's where Ring of Honor used to run at a lot. And boy, man, like my friend Kodak said on Twitter, like they always tore the house down, man. It didn't matter, man. They always came ready to work. And that's one, like I said earlier, that's one thing I appreciate about the Briscoes, man. Really good team. Like Kevin said earlier, I'm so sad that they never got a chance to perform on a grander stage, because those guys definitely deserve it. No matter what Jay said, like I said, you can always learn and grow from different things like that. I don't get what's so bad about letting a person live, learn, and grow.
Exactly.
We got to let people do that. And also, with the whole look, certain things should be excused. Come on, it's not even all that bad.
No, in the grand scheme of things, it's not all that bad, and because I think that we all know that, because I saw what Jay said, and quite honestly, I hear worse talk weekly behind closed doors from people at the club, people at the bar, just the way people just talk when they have a couple of drinks in them, and it water off a duck's back for me. I don't really. Put in my memory bank about somebody saying some offshoot remark about something, just kind of when they're on a rant. I mean, especially us podcasters. I mean, people write to us and they say things to us and they make comments to us. And I think wishing death on a person is far worse than an ethnic slur, in my opinion. Like, death is pretty final. A name calling is like, I think when people start forgiving murder over name calling, that's just odd to me. There's levels. That's why we have levels of crimes in the judicial system.
Like Kevin,
it's weird, man, that people are so unforgiving about name calling. It's really weird.
Like Kevin, you brought up in.
But yet, no, Jeffrey Dahmer celebrated. Give me a break.
Well, Kevin, you brought up something interesting where you were saying, wishing death on someone is worse, because like. I remember a quote from, back in 2003. Do you guys, I mean, I'm pretty sure RJ is going to know this, but Kev, do you remember a basketball player named Tim Hardaway?
Yes.
He made a comment about a basketball player that came out while he was still in the league. His name was John Amici, I think was his name.
Okay.
And he was, at the time, he was like the first openly gay basketball player in the NBA. And Tim Hardaway, who at the time I believe was like an announcer, this is like in 2007, I think. He said, I hate gay people. Like, I want gay people off of this planet. I don't want gay people anywhere near me, and pretty much like you were saying, the equivalent of just saying, I want them dead, I don't want them anywhere near me. And It's just like, yeah, you're kind of a fucking asshole. Sorry, dude.
Yeah, that's much different than someone saying like the F word about like a gay slur, or stop being an F, or you say it to one of your boys on the basketball court, stop acting like an F. I don't see that. Oh my God, just like it's kind of sometimes just the over bravado for heterosexual males to do stuff like that, whether it's in a locker room or on the playground or whatever. It certainly was prevalent when I was growing up and stuff, and I never really. It's funny because people say, "Yeah, you never really stop and think about who it hurts." I don't. I think sometimes things are just said. I don't think that someone's like, I really want to hurt the feelings of somebody today. I've never been that type of guy, so I don't know. I've never walked up and said, today I really want to make a black person feel bad. Like I've never been like that in my life, so I can't relate to it. But I also know that some people are assholes, or they say things when they're younger and they do stuff. And I think if we go down that road of like some asshole who really got grilled, by the way, I think you guys saw there was a guy online who was talking about a homophobic wrestler who died and trying to school everybody on the phrase "rest in power," that it shouldn't be used for Jay Briscoe.
We were just talking about those fuckers.
Yeah, and I put him on blast too, and then the guy privatized his thing like a baby because he doesn't want to own what he said, and also I learned that guy didn't even know much about wrestling. He just wanted to target a wrestler and grandstand and be self-righteous. But I think again, if everyone's like, wow, so all the charitable stuff that I've done, all the good I've done, if I use the F word or I called an Italian a slur or something, that defines my whole life. No, it doesn't. It's some people who are making that's the case. It doesn't. That's a minority. No one thinks that. No one thinks that. That's why Jay Briscoe, it was a slither, not even a 1% of anybody who remembers him as the guy who made the homophobic slur 10 years ago. No one brought that up. Only non-wrestling fans brought that up because they don't know all the good that he did in the industry that he was in, and that he wasn't that guy. And if he was that guy, it was a long time ago, and he's grown, and he's 38 now, not in his 20s anymore, and growth and involvement is allowed, and it never was not allowed. It's just people who are trying to make us think that you're defined by that moment in time of, my God, if they went back. I mean, listen, I can't speak for Anthony. I don't know if Anthony did or didn't. I wouldn't even want to try to remember, but I personally, on the old DTKC show, as racy and crazy as we got, I personally, for me, never used ethnic slurs against people, but I know other people on the show did. Now, if people wanted to go back and find those episodes or whatever and define the show by that, they could if they wanted to. It'd be stupid. It was like 16 years ago. But again, it shouldn't. Everyone is so different then, and also you're 16 years older. You're different. It's a moment in time. It was never acceptable. That's what people used to say to me. Well, you grew up in the 80s, when people threw the N-word around. I'm like, no, they didn't. What are you talking about? No one, that didn't happen. I was never around people just threw the N-word. People say stuff that I'm just like, I grew up in New York. I didn't grow up in Tampa, Florida. What are you talking about? So I think that people have an idea about how people are. Oh, well, those guys are Italians. They were probably saying black slurs in their household their whole lives. No. I could turn around and say the same thing about, just about the same thing with homosexuality. How do you know that we don't have a gay person in the family? Because, first of all, you don't have to out somebody to let everyone know that you support gay rights or something. Or even if you say the F word, it doesn't mean that you are homophobic. It means that you said something, sometimes, most times, trying to joke around. Now, if you're saying it trying to hurt somebody's feelings or try to demean somebody, I guess that's where that you really get put on blast. But I don't know not one person in podcasting or in my regular life that has not had one of those moments. You know what I mean? One of those moments where, hey, remember in 1982, you made that joke about the Jewish guy and the guy with one leg? And he'll be like, yeah, I was 13. So I don't know what you define people by. I'm never really worried about stuff like that for myself because I say to myself, I pretty much know the worst things that I've done, and honestly, everything was done in the context of jokes. I've never been an anti-gay or homophobic type of guy. Also, I'm in the club business. It'd be impossible for me to be homophobic. My boss is lesbian. So it's like one of my bosses before that was openly gay. In the nightclub business, are you kidding me? And as far as anything else goes, but it was someone said, oh, there always has to be one, like with the Jay Briscoe thing, where people focused on that guy who called him homophobic. But there was a couple other people who said some stuff. But again, man, it just goes right overhead because you go by what the majority think and the legacy the guy left. And, I think it's always a shame. Listen, everyone who died, you guys know, every wrestler who died, some portion of people did not like that guy. You know what I mean? Not everybody, Ultimate Warrior, Scott Hall, all those guys, they had massive amount of fans, but they had a lot of detractors too. Anytime you post some of these guys' names, you're going to get somebody who say, oh, that guy was a POS. You know what I mean? And it's just because, well, he said this or that. I'm like, but you don't know the dude. I don't know Jay Briscoe, but I felt like I knew him. You know what I mean?
Same. Growing up down south, there's a lot of guys that reminded me of Jay Briscoe, you know? That's why I would defend him a whole lot, because a lot of people would be like, oh, he's wearing the rebel flag, so he's racist. And I'm like, no. Just because he wears that flag does not mean that he's racist.
No.
A lot of people represent that flag represents Southern pride.
It does for a lot of people.
And then, yes, there is a lot of people out there that do use that flag as a symbolism for hate and racism. But not everybody. So don't shift everybody into that category, man, because that's not fair.
No, and it's exhausting trying to defend people. I mean, it was exhausting for me and Anthony defending Ultimate Warrior years ago, or the good stuff that he did, and that behind the scenes he was not what you perceived him to be if you got to know him personally. I mean, even I go through things sometimes with being a friend of Cross and people saying, he's a Trump guy. First of all, he's never come out and said that. That's just rumor and innuendo. Or that he doesn't believe. When he got let go, they were saying it's because he refused the vax. Well, I knew for a fact that he was already vaxxed because he went to Europe, if you remember, and he threw the water bottle at Drew McIntyre. And he was
he actually did throw a bottle at me, but go ahead.
He's telling me that he wasn't vaxxed, and I'm like, how did he make the trip over to the pay-per-view and fly over if he wasn't vaxxed? It's just so, and you know the truth. It's exhausting defending people. So I don't try to bother to even defend people anymore. I know how certain people are. Other people I don't know. And the people who are judging and saying this stuff anyway, it's always some nameless, faceless person. It's not even like I could put a face to the name of the guy I'm arguing with. It could be a woman. I don't even know if it's a female. I have no idea. It could be an 11-year-old. I don't even know. It could be Drew Yari. I don't know who it is.
Hey Kev, you should implement my rule. If they don't have an actual face to their profile, I won't even respond to them whatsoever. I'll send a little GIF of the searching GIF for somebody searching for somebody, because I ain't talking to no nameless, faceless person. Like,
yeah, I should do that. I think sometimes my temper gets the best of me because someone will say something. I'm like, I got to get back. It's like when Cedric the Entertainer in Barbershop 2 was arguing with that little girl in the waiting pool, and he goes, I got to get back at her. I can't help myself. I just got to get back at her. I do the same thing. And my brother, I know my brother has the same temperament. It's like when I see someone leave a comment, I'm like, my brother's going to get back at this guy. Watch. 10 minutes later, I'll see my brother retort to him, because I just know some people. Well, they'll say, they're triggering you. It's not triggering. It's like, listen, I can't let that dumb comment go. That's the way I look at it. You know what I mean? It's not triggering. It's just like, it's human nature to want to defend your friends and defend yourself. And I think it's not when you know your boys are guilty, whatever, or you're being overly defensive. I always come to the defense when I know that someone didn't do something. That riles me up more. You know what I mean? That's like when someone says Drew Yari's a great podcaster. I find that very offensive. And I'm like,
oh, Jesus.
You son of a bitch!
And I got to straighten them out. But Drew, I'm actually in amazement. I cannot believe it's been 5 years. I can't believe I know you that long.
Yeah, we you've pretty much the year I started podcasting is kind of the year when we started, I guess, becoming more chummy.
Yes, 5 years. Wow.
And I just remember there was one day where you just kind of shouted me out, and you just said, "Yeah, Drew Yari is a cool guy." I'm like, that's probably a lie, but I'll take it.
That was a long time ago, Drew.
But it's still real to me, damn it. But no,
that was grossly premature.
But Kevin, I just gotta say I really appreciate you coming on, even if it's just to say hi. And
absolutely, I'll let you guys close it out, man.
It means the world to me. I know it sounds corny, but I said this to Draper. I'm gonna say it to you. It means the world to me that you're here. It means the world to me that you're my friend. 5 years ago I was just listening. I was a fan. Now now I can call you a friend, and I'm still a fan.
Absolutely, and much happier now than I was 5 years ago when you first met me. So I was still in prison when you met me 5 years ago.
Okay.
I was doing hard time on another show, but much better times now. And here's to another 5 years, and God willing, I'll still be here for your 10th anniversary.
You know what Draper said? Draper said, "I don't know if I want to be alive in 5 years."
Yeah, I know. My brother doesn't want to be alive in 5 years. I'm hoping to be alive in 5 years. So let's see who makes the cut, me or Draper. But thanks, guys. To you, always a pleasure, RJ. To Mr. Jeff, and to Spinebuster Tees, all you guys there in the chat, and of course, Mr. Yari. Thank you very much, Drew. One day I will visit Texas. Maybe I'll bring Baseball Chicky with me. You got to put us up, though. I'm not getting a hotel if I know friends over there.
I don't know if I can pay for a hotel, but I'll try to find a hotel.
Come on, you got to give Kevin Castle the red carpet treatment.
Come on, the red carpet treatment,
man.
You'll have to share a bed. You'll have to share a couch with one of my cats. At least one of my cats.
We'll give them your bed, Yari. Share a couch with one of the cats.
Well,
how many cats do you have now?
Probably enough to start a basketball team at least.
Oh, Jesus Christ!
Start a lineup.
Well, I mean, only a few of them stay inside. The rest are mainly the outside cats.
Only a few of them could dribble and take jump shots.
We'll figure something out. I'll make Chicky pay for the hotel. But all right, guys, I will catch you guys soon. I'll see you on social media and all the other outlets that we interact. Drew, congratulations again. Everybody else, we'll check you soon. Everybody have a good week, man. Peace.
Thank you, sir.
You too, Kev. Thanks.
All right, peace out.
All right, that was Kevin.
Drew, I'm also going to check out.
All right, Jeff. Again, I appreciate you for coming on. It means the world to me. And thank you for your friendship. And here's to another 5 years.
Absolutely. Good luck. It's hard for me to step after 11 these days. But you guys carry on. Just want to give my respects and have a great rest of your show.
All right, take care, my friend.
All right, Jeff.
See you guys.
Later.
All right, so now it is 3. We have a few more news things to talk about. Nothing major, but Kurt Angle on his podcast, The Kurt Angle Show, he had a quote. "The business has changed. It's about stunts now. These guys are doing high spots. How long are you going to do that? How many times are you going to do it before you get injured? Doing the chain wrestling and submission trade-offs is a lot safer, and the fans actually like it."
Should I go first on this one?
I'd
shoot for it.
By all means.
I mean, yes, that's true, but you're the one that was doing fucking moonsaults from the top of fucking cages and doing fucking crazy ass dives when you're perked up. I mean, I'm just saying, you know what I mean? He's right, but like he's saying it like he never did it himself.
Let me be the Kurt Angle dick rider in this conversation. So, I think for him, that's something he thinks about. Of I did all that shit while I was perked up, and look what it got me. You know what I mean? Because he can't even take painkillers for his injuries or his his surgeries because it will get him he'll go back to being addicted again. But I mean he's right. I mean he's obviously right. But like you said, it's like weren't you doing that? But
he's 100% correct. But he was still doing it too. You know what I mean?
I mean, this would maybe sound less awkward coming from somebody who didn't do too many high spots, like maybe like an Austin, maybe Rock, or I mean, I was gonna say Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels didn't do too many high spots, as far as I can remember.
He
didn't do high. Yeah, he didn't do like. He did like top rope stuff, but he didn't do like the crazy shit.
Right. So, RJ, any thoughts?
Hold on, I just want to get this off my chest real quick. So I'm looking in the comments. So apparently they turned Saraya and Tony Storm heel tonight on Dynamite.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I was watching. I was kind of nowhere. I was kind of confused on what happened.
I was confused on that too, but somebody was like the erotic attraction.
Oh,
I don't know.
Christ.
That should be that name. Somebody said you should add Brad Maddox and Woods.
Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, do you see?
Man,
Oh God, do you see the
dying.
fucking seats in fucking AEW tonight?
I didn't even watch the show.
See the what on AEW tonight?
The seats, there's a whole row. I'm not even kidding. Literally a whole
It's
row
empty.
that is empty.
Oh God.
It's like
I mean that happens with a lot of wrestling shows. So.
I mean,
Was the crowd hot tonight?
I only watched like maybe the first 2 matches, but that's about it. I'm gonna post it in the chat.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I watched
But,
the first. Yeah, it was okay.
But I mean, what was that joke that Joe Numbers had where Halloween's already over, but the fans are coming out dressed as seats or something?
Yeah.
It's like Jesus Christ.
Not lying.
Now I can see why he wants to buy WWE. It's like he's really gonna get sunned when he if he buys WWE.
Yeah, not right. Good Lord.
Tony's gonna be at home calling Nick.
I can't even see that. Is that on the TV side? Because if so, they always had shit crowds on that side. So, I'm not surprised by that.
I don't know. I mean, it's pretty.
Well,
much
that was during the main event, though, for sure. So,
what was the main event?
Kushida and Darby Allin.
Who won?
Darby Allin.
I mean, dumb question.
Tony Storm's thighs look like they coming back.
She's getting that ass back.
That one. Good.
Yeah,
we need that redunculum on TV.
I'll say this once and I'll say it again. Willow Nightingale's underrated.
In the ring?
Well, in the ring and just in looks in general.
She is.
She's fine.
She is.
She's fine as shit. If you see her in her regular pictures and shit. Yeah. Oh my god.
Yeah. I
would like to team that shrew.
Well, she almost broke Anna Jay's neck, apparently.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, well,
they should have. That's not really. It's wrestling. What they should have done is they should have had 2 tables, not 1. That could have been a lot better.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why you don't have green people do these kind of matches.
Maybe that's why Tony needs WWE to, I guess, convince them to let him buy it, so that way they can properly teach him how to book a show.
Probably how to put certain guys in the right spots.
Tony Khan's having the greatest week of his life outside the Jay Briscoe stuff. He's having the greatest week of his life, though.
Can you imagine Triple H and Tony Khan in a room, talking about booking a show?
No, Tony, this is how it's gonna go. God damn it!
I think a lot of their ideas. I think a lot of their ideas are probably not that far from each other. You don't think that some of their ideas won't be that they'll agree on some similar things. You think their ideas are that far apart?
I think Tony tries to book things as a fanboy, but also maybe to his credit, he allows people to book the show that aren't him. I think he allows Jericho to book his own shit. He allows, the Young Bucks and Kenny to book their own shit. Everybody else he tries to book, it's just, I don't know. I really don't know how to put it, but it's just he doesn't, he tries to book the show as a fan and not somebody who can detach himself from the product. You know what I mean? Triple H is a fan. He's obviously a fan. He's a student of the game, no pun intended. But he can also detach himself from who he's booking. He loves Cross, and I'm pretty sure if we're up to him, Cross would be in the main event of WrestleMania. But he knows I can't do that yet because I got other people to book, that are more important than him at the moment. So
he loves Orange Cassidy, and he hasn't put the fucking title on him yet.
Because Orange Cassidy at the moment, I know you like Orange Cassidy, but it's just I just got to be honest. Just a gimmick like that, it had a very short shelf life.
Oh no, I'm not saying that he should be a world champion or anything like that, but
also, kind of to go with your notion, I think it's half and half with Tony, where I think he gets it at sometimes, but he doesn't get it. Whereas, like, he can look at Orange Cassidy and realize, okay, he's my favorite wrestler, and the fans like him, but he's not a world champion. He's not world championship material. MJ, the other top guys, quote unquote.
Well, he doesn't need to be either because he's selling merch and shit. Like a lot of guys, they don't really need to be world. Like a lot of people who come into wrestling, like, is your goal really to become world champion, or you can do that, or is your goal just to be a memorable character and make money, have good merch, and that's where Orange Cassidy's at. That's where like Danhausen's at. Danhausen will never be a fucking world champion, but goddamn, he sells most of the merchandise in AEW, which means something. So,
right,
definitely does.
I mean, to be fair, maybe MJF shouldn't be world champion, but go ahead, RJ.
I mean, everybody's got a role on the show, which is why I don't mind certain gimmicks sometimes, because it's like everybody has to have a role on the show. Not everybody can be main event, but if you can go out there, sell some T-shirts, entertain people, get the crowd on their feet, get them to clap, cheer, boo, whatever, then you got a role. You got a serviceable role. So, while I'm not the biggest fan of Orange Cassidy or Danhausen, like they're not what I'm looking for as far as reasons why I tune into a professional wrestling show. I definitely get the appeal. There's a reason to have them around.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
main event, though.
With any wrestling show, everyone needs to be different. Everyone needs to stand out.
He pinned Jay Lethal tonight, by the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes, he sure did.
If I'm Jay Lethal, I'm retiring. Shit, what the hell?
Wait, from Orange Cassidy?
Yeah, is Jay Lethal still 19? By the way, he's been 19 forever. Yeah,
I don't know.
Man, I wish Kevin would have still been on the show. He would have got that joke.
I don't know. According to Draper, he has a lisp, and I don't hear the lisp.
It's not as apparent as Cody's or Jake Hager's, but he kind of has a little bit of a speech slur there. Just a little bit. It's like I said, it's not as bad as Cody and Hager, but it's kind of there a little bit. You can hear it in certain instances.
Fucking Hager when he came out as Jack Swagger. I am the All-American American.
I just like when they always made fun of it when Christian, when he came back the first time to WWE and he told Jack Swagger, "You have a speech impediment." I do not have a speech impediment. Or when Edge was like, "You're Swagger, soaring eagle, suffering succotash." I just thought, funny.
Oh yeah.
But now he's over because he wears a hat.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous. By the way,
I
get it.
I don't get it either. But people are popping for it, so people are popping
for it.
AEW fans,
so be it.
AEW fans will pop for anything.
Yeah, I mean, you can draw a cock on Drew Yari's forehead and send him out there, and they'll pop.
They don't pop. They don't pop for everything because they don't watch NXT. So there you go.
Yeah, because that's actually wrestling done by an actual wrestling company.
What'd you think about the NXT show last night? By the way,
I didn't watch it because of Jay Briscoe.
You didn't watch it?
I was watching it, but it kind of I'll say this. I like Ify Valkyria. I think she. I think she has some. I think she definitely has some promise as well. Mm-hmm. Watching in the opening match, with Rick Williams and Carmelo Hayes versus Apollo and Axiom. I know they're trying to make Axiom and Apollo Crews a tag team, so good for them. You know what I mean? So
is Apollo Crews gonna go back to being a Black Panther again?
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with them. Tiffany Stratton, you guys know how high I'm on Tiffany Stratton. Me
too.
She's amazing. I love her. I do
too. I think she's good. What do you guys think about the Stevie Turner gimmick? I like how they're taking chances on modern stuff. They're trying to read the room, kind of like when Triple H gave Tyler Breeze the selfie gimmick 10 years ago. I'm glad they're trying to implement more modern stuff, even though it might be annoying. But I can appreciate the fact that they're trying to implement that into current wrestling culture.
I think Stevie Turner's a good wrestler. She was very good at NXT UK.
She was.
However, I don't know if I'm gonna like this gimmick or not, because it's like, hey, it's like this. It's like this. Hey, I'm a podcaster, and yeah, let's talk about it, and all that. And it's like, I get what you're doing, but at the same time as well, what is your motivation? You know what I mean? Like, what is your motivation to get into the ring? Like, are you gonna be on your podcast saying like, hey, well, I can beat these girls up in the ring? Because like, a lot, as far as like a lot of ridiculous wrestling games that we used to get, the Goon. You remember the Goon, right?
Right.
Back in the day, like he was a hockey player. It was so ridiculous. All right, well, but he had a purpose though, because like he got kicked out of the NHL and for fighting too much, so now he wants to fight in wrestling. Like the gimmick was stupid and retarded, but he had a purpose behind it.
Yeah, it made sense.
It made sense. I'm not too sure if I'm there yet with Stevie Turner.
Okay. I mean, I think if they build it up the right way over the next couple of weeks, I think they could have something. Maybe she critiques somebody's match. Damn, Thea, you didn't throw that kick the right way. And then Thea Hill rolls up on her in her studio and be like, "Oh, what now, bitch?" And then they fight, I think there's some ways you can do it. The thing I like about the NXT women's division is that they have a lot of stories going on there, That's one thing I will give them credit on. All the girls, even outside the title picture, seem to have some type of beef and stuff like that. It's pretty cool. I like that.
You know what
Oh, go ahead, Drew.
I was going to talk about Braun Breaker because I like this promo because, he actually had some fire in it. Because the one thing I've noticed about Braun Breaker lately, in like the past few months, is that it's kind of like the same thing with Cross, where I'm starting to not believe anything that he says or does. Like, well, more so says, but like, for example, when he wrestles, I don't get the impression that he's going to kick the shit out of the other guy. Like he doesn't wrestle like a Steiner.
He wrestles like a Steiner. I just think that he wrestles like a Steiner because he's hitting those hard Steiner lines. He's doing the Frankensteiners. He's doing the power moves. So he wrestles like a Steiner. I just think that his intensity, as far as in his intensity and his promo ability, it hasn't been there since he first. Like when he first came in, it was like, it'd be like, if you want to get a freaking dog, or
that was great.
Shit. You know what I mean? Now it's kind of like he's just kind of like
baby face,
two baby face instead of just being a cool baby face, he's just being like a fucking lame baby face right now. And it's not his fault. It's just
Looking.
Yeah, it's just what he has to be during being an NXT champion, and he's gonna learn that too. So hopefully when he comes up to the main roster, I hope he is like a low key heel first.
I hope so.
So that way that we can get that edge back from him. Then eventually turn babyface, because I don't know if him coming back as a white meat babyface is gonna work.
No, it's not gonna work, especially not in front of a main roster crowd.
Yeah,
It's not even working in front of a hot NXT crowd.
No, people started bullying Braun Breaker and started cheering Grayson Waller in their match. So,
yeah, because Grayson Waller has more to him. He has more of a. He's got more of a character. He's got more of a package together, than Braun Breaker does. Same thing with Carmelo Hayes. These other guys are getting over.
I just thought of something we were talking about. The people actually cheering.
They were booing him over.
That's I was getting to that. Like when you said they were actually cheering Grayson and they were booing Braun, it made me think of it's kind of like they were cheering for Thanos, but they were booing Captain Marvel. Because Braun, as good as he is, and I like Braun, but he's just lately he's kind of been a very by the numbers kind of wrestler.
Yeah,
it's just like Eddie saying in the chat room that he thinks Braun needs to change up his finish because the finish to his matches are very underwhelming.
Oh yeah, I don't like that pop up fucking power slam. It's not a good finish, especially in 2023 where you got guys getting dropped on the head to end matches. He needs something.
What would, in your opinion, what would in your guys' opinion be a better finisher for him? That would be something that he can do.
Recliner. Have him do the power slam, then have him roar out to the crowd, and then have him step on the guy's back and fucking Steiner recliner. Dig that motherfucker deep in there.
Yes, if he's a heel. If he's a heel, yes, 100% agree. A lot of faces don't have a lot of submission finishers. I mean, obviously you got like, you know, Bryan Danielson with the label lock and all that stuff, but like, and like Bret Hart had the sharpshooter or whatnot, but like nowadays I really think of like submission moves like that to like, incapacitate your opponent is really more of a heel thing, in my opinion. I may be overlooking it.
Maybe he can use some type of variation of a Steiner screwdriver. Where he doesn't drop the guy on his head, but like he can do it in the suplex position, but kind of drive him, tuck the head in and drive him under or something. I don't know.
You know what he could do? He could do like a suplex position and kind of like change it into like a reverse DDT in mid motion.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. I don't know. I don't know how impactful that would look, but I'm pretty sure he could do it to anybody though. So
yeah, exactly. Or he could do a suplex position into a tombstone power driver.
Oh, Undertaker's gonna be pissed off about that. Like,
what about a jackhammer? Jackhammer for like Goldberg does.
Nah. I don't want to see that.
Yeah,
jackhammer's like too generic nowadays.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, jackhammer's like in 1998 was like an innovative move. Like freaking Demon Lincoln was doing that shit from like the top rope in ECW and shit. So.
I know one thing me and Drew do want. We do want him to turn heel and get some freaks.
That's my dream. He needs to be a heel and be like Uncle Scotty and get some freaks.
I was actually thinking about that. I was actually thinking about that. He should like dye his hair just like his uncle and dye his goatee, and just be like the new Big Papa Pump.
Yeah,
just come out and just be like, you know, after I was coming to the main roster, I talked to Uncle Scotty, and Scotty told me the best way to succeed in the main roster is two things. One thing, don't let anybody mess with you. And two, you need some freaks. Just come out with just come out with a tiger like Scott Steiner did.
There you go.
And just hear Corey, oh my god, is that a live tiger?
Oh man.
So on to, because I know we're talking about NXT here. The main event had at the end Toxic Attraction showing Descent. What do you guys think is going to happen from that in that triple threat match? Do you think there's going to be actual Descent between Toxic Attraction?
I mean, at this point, because we don't even know when or even if Mandy is going to come back, or even like, I don't know if it was you or like somebody else that suggested that Chelsea Green, you know, come in and be the leader of Toxic Attraction.
Yeah.
Like, you know, here's a scenario. Like, there's dissension and they're about to like beat the fuck out of each other, and that's when, you know, music hits and Chelsea Green comes out, and she's like, ladies, there's no fighting in Toxic Attraction. You're far too beautiful to be fighting each other. You guys need a leader. Your leader's gone. I'm your leader now. Like, you know, do something like that. Or if you want to break them up, I don't know. Like, I don't know how they're going to do if they break up, because I think Gigi, if anything, could be the star.
Exactly.
You know, I personally like JC better, but I think Gigi could be the bigger star because she has a unique look other than, you know, her yams. She
big bouncy booty. God, Jesus Christ.
You know, her red hair, and she pretty much looks like a lot of girls nowadays. She's into punk rock, metal, and there's going to be girls that see her and identify with her. So, you know, I think if they're smart, which I hope, they can market the shit out of her. You know, she could be their next Lita, maybe. I don't know.
I'm gonna keep saying this, but Darby Allin fucked up.
Oh,
Just saying. He's one of the biggest fuck ups. Like, he dropped one of the biggest bags possible.
And you're just
Him and Christian Blake. Soon as Christian Blake left NXT, I was like, yeah, Core J's gone. Like, there's no way that they're gonna stay together.
Yeah,
and sure enough, Braun Breaker came in and got that ass.
Yeah, Core Jade realized, you know what, I can probably do better.
That NXT locker room is horny. So fucking horny.
Of course.
It's like
what does Joey Number say all the time? When you got young, attractive guys that are in shape and girls that are in shape around each other all day long, what do you think is gonna happen? They're gonna fuck.
It's like with Kelly.
Right.
It's like with Kelly, where it's like Kelly slept around, and like, who cares? Kelly was 19. That was her college experience. Was not NXT, but the WWE locker room, and she fucked around.
ECW, yeah.
Who cares? Like, she fucked Kurt Angle. Big whoop. Did Kurt Angle rape her?
She saw the Olympic penis.
She's like, "Are you about to climax?" It's true. It's damn true.
No.
Oh, that's the reason why he drank all that milk.
Well, no, she drank his milk. Waka waka. But RJ, I don't know if you gave what are your thoughts on the possible dissension of Toxic Attraction?
I think it's probably time to let them rock, because I mean they're single stars. Like, they don't need to be in the tag team forever. And if I don't want to see Chelsea Green come in and fucking take over Toxic. To me, I don't think she really fits Toxic Attraction. In my opinion, I don't think she, like, at least Mandy transformed herself to kind of fit what Gigi and JC were kind of doing. She went from this hot blonde shell, I said blonde shell, hot bombshell blonde, to this, this brunette who kind of dressed like them, and kind of she changed herself to fit what God damn it, I was about to say JC and Gigi were doing. So, like, I don't think Chelsea Green is a good fit for that. You get what you should do is you should get Chelsea Green and Maxine Dupree and maybe other one of those girls down in NXT, and you do a little faction there. But I think if you can't bring Mandy Rose back, let GC, damn it, there we go again. Let JC and Gigi go their separate ways, and see what happens.
Yeah, it's probably the more likely scenario.
Or just call them up to the main roster as a tag team. Just do it. Because you do need more teams. Why Indy Hartwell is still in NXT and not on the main roster right now with Candice LeRae is way beyond me. And, they don't pay me enough to try to get inside the heads of Triple H and Shawn Michaels. But it's just like you're trying to really save this women's tag team division. You really want it badly. But you got a team. You got two women that have good chemistry on two different shows. And one of those women she has nothing left to do in NXT besides win the championship, and that ain't happening. So what's the next best thing for her? Get her ass up there on the main roster so she can be with somebody that she has chemistry with, especially when the time when you need women's tag teams. So it doesn't make any sense to me. But I would call them up if they're not going to split them up. Just call them up, because I just don't want to see them waste. I don't want to see them waste their careers, with this will they, won't they shit. God damn. It's either or at this point.
All right.
So,
we have a few more bits of news to talk about, and then we can call it a night. Logan Paul, according to Fightful Select, as of last week, WWE was hoping to have Logan train for an upcoming match, but the news outlet had not heard any solid details on the plan WWE had put together for the crossover superstar. Regardless, WWE is reportedly hoping a celebrity talent is back in time en route to WrestleMania 39. The last time Logan Paul was on WWE television was for Crown Jewel, wrestling Roman Reigns for the Universal Championship.
A great match too. Logan Paul. I look. I don't care about what he does in his personal life or what this, that, and the other. I don't give a shit about no blogs. I don't watch blogs. I don't watch other people walk around and film their lives on YouTube and helping them get rich. That's not what I do. But as far as him doing the job in wrestling, he's doing a fantastic job, and I'm a fan of him as a wrestler. He's showing me a whole lot in 3 matches, and I'm sold. So I would like to see him back for WrestleMania. If it can't happen, then I mean, let his body heal up and let him, let him chill out so that he can give you the best possible moving forward, going into SummerSlam. Maybe he can give you Survivor Series and some other event as well. So I wouldn't rush him back if he ain't ready to come back.
Right. Justin.
Yeah, I mean, no need to rush him back. Just make sure he heals up properly. I know they're going to have a marquee match for him at WrestleMania, depending on how they, where they set up for. I mentioned the fact that, and I'm still a proponent of this, I don't think it's going to happen now, but if it happens, I definitely won't cry about it. Logan Paul, Austin Theory, United States title, have Logan Paul win, and have him, start a maybe like a 2 to 3 month reign as United States champion. Because I think he can pull in some good matches if they give him, if they put him with the right people.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's kind of in the cards more than likely this year. And yeah, Austin Theory and Logan Paul I think would be a good matchup because you have 2 guys that can work. Logan can work, Austin can work, and Logan, last we saw, was an over babyface, which personally I think he's better as a heel, but they wanted to be a babyface, so I mean that's fine. He's fine as a babyface. He kind of needs to get better on promos a little bit because sometimes he has a problem with kind of like stammering a little. But I mean the guy's kind of he's brand new to wrestling, and he's only had 3 matches, so he'll get there. I think he'll do fine on promos, and Theory's the future of the company. Last bit of news: Alberto El Patron is returning to AAA. Not Alcoholics Anonymous, but AAA.
Oh, AAA.
I was like, what? AAA?
AAA? Who the fuck says that?
AAA. Sorry. AAA. That's
Yari, apparently.
The whiteness in me is showing. He's returning to AAA. At a press event on Tuesday, AAA announced the return of Alberto El Patron, formerly known as Alberto Del Rio, who will take part in AAA's Lucha Libre World Cup event this March. The former WWE champion will be part of AAA's 3-show Triple Mania series, teaming with Pentagon Jr. in All Rivals, 8-team tag team match that will see the losing teams advance, much like last year's AAA Mass versus Mass tournament. The last team left will then face off in a mask or hair match at Triple Mania XXXI or 31, Mexico City this August. They say the one that returns to where he was always happy. Family, I have a new home. I can't say it, I'm sorry. That household is 100% Mexican, just like me, and its name is Lucha Libre AAA. I thank Dorian Roldan and Maricela Peña Roldan for making me part of their beautiful family. God's time is perfect. Yes, yes, yes.
Sí. Alberto El Patron. They tried to banish me from the business, but I had to have the pussy. The pussy was just so good I couldn't stay away.
When Conan called me and asked me if I want to be a part of the guard, I said, "Is there going to be any pussy?"
He doesn't say pussy. He doesn't say, but he says pussy.
Pussy.
He spells it Poosy, like
pussy.
pussy.
When I go to the CVS and I'm getting my medicine, the first question I ask the cashier is, "Do you have any pussy?"
Jesus Christ.
Sir, this is a CVS. And then I grab him by his scrawny little neck and I say, "That's not what I asked, cabron. Give me the pussy, or I will take it.
I will kill you.
I will take all the pussy in this CVS."
Alberto, sir, you might want to calm down, man.
No coming down for Alberto. El Patron.
And then at my court date, they asked me, "What did you think was really going to happen, sir?" And I said, "I did it all for the pussy."
That's right.
Anyways, Conan defends decision to book Alberto El Patron for AAA. He says, Jesus Christ. What does that do with Trump? He says, "I correlate with Trump. What? I think a lot of things that Trump did were impeachable, and he should have gone to jail or court or something, and he'd always gotten away with murder, right? I don't know if he did it or if he didn't do it. Now, I don't know what happened with him and Soraya. Only they know. Obviously, it wasn't anything good because it was a bitter separation, but he's got to live, bro, with that stigma for the rest of his life, and I'll give you an example. He told me that he had to move from his neighborhood because the other parents' kids, they didn't want him to play with his kids. Everywhere he goes, he was like a hero in Mexico. And he went from hero to zero. Bro, you gotta live with that, okay?" He goes on to explain why he deserves a second chance. "Now, how long do I gotta keep punishing him? He's been out of the business for 2 or 3 years. I spoke to him and he's told me he's changed. He sent me pictures of him in Christmas. He knows that we're taking a big chance on him. And he's under a microscope and a magnifying glass at the same time. We're giving him another chance. Everybody deserves another chance because I can guarantee you all these virtue signalers, oh God, and all these guys that like to talk about how everybody should be nice and equal, they're the biggest bullies. How long should he pay? Because I know for sure you've done something in the last few years that you should be embarrassed if people found out about. And everybody else is okay, but we bully on this guy because he's a public figure." Yeah, that's the reason. "These people should not have gone to prison. Obviously, they're in prison for public opinion. He no longer is according to him, and he says he's a changed man. I say let's give him a chance. If he fucks up, he'll never work with me again. But go ahead."
I mean, that's fair. If he fucks up, then he's out the door. But I don't know. I guess Conan's just trying to get somebody a break. I mean, I think Conan, for a guy that was kind of blackballed from WWE, never ever made it to another big time promotion ever again. I guess he kind of knows what it feels like to be kind of left out. So I guess he wants to give Alberto at least that chance.
Sure.
Which, I mean, you can kind of respect it in a way, but I don't know. I'm kind of with him in the camp where let's see what he does. If he fucks up, he's out the door. That's all you can really do at this point because the booking's already made.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I mean, I'm not like the hugest ADR fan, but like, I mean, if he says that he's changed and, he hasn't really had a second chance as of yet, at least from like the major backlash that he had, you know what I mean? Hasn't really had really much of a second chance to change his ways, and if he says change his ways, give him a shot. If he messes up, don't give him another shot again. This should be his last attempt. Now, I don't ever see him coming into WWE again or AEW or anything like that. Maybe Mexico, just Mexico. Maybe GCW or somewhere like that, or maybe even Impact one more time. Probably not, because probably burned the bridge and blew it up for Impact. But yeah. I mean, we'll just see how it goes with them.
Yeah. I guess just see where it goes. Just he ain't gonna come back to anywhere like big. WWE's not gonna touch him. AEW's not gonna touch him, especially with Soraya there. So I don't even think Impact.
It should be something that they should pair them up together.
just like, here's a picture perfect moment. Soraya just won the AEW Women's Championship. Just imagine that. She just won, biggest moment of her career. All of a sudden, the lights go out. and the lights come back on, and El Patron is right behind her. And he backstabs her. He gives her the backbreaker.
And then you just see Ricardo Rodriguez just
the horn or some shit.
Yeah, well, not even that. He's just in a this fucking very tattered suit coming down. You know what I mean? We haven't seen him in like 10 years. And he's like, Abaton! No, you can't say that. Albatron! There you go.
All right. Yeah, I guess, what it is, but it's just no bigger company is going to hire him. I don't think Impact will hire him.
No, Impact. They want to keep the good name intact right now. I don't think he's finished.
Yeah, I think he didn't he no show.
Yeah, he no-showed that big crossover event with Lucha Underground at the time.
Yeah.
He got suspended because of the incident with Paige. And then he came back, I think like a month later, and he cuts a promo saying, "I was screwed out of my title." I'm like, no you weren't. I can tell you right now you were not.
I screwed out of my title.
I
want it back. Give me my title.
And give him
I want it.
And give him my pussy.
Oh no, not the pussy.
Anything but
Hey, you know what I had to eat tonight, Drew?
What, Justin?
Pussy.
This one time I was at a restaurant, and I ordered my steak medium well, but the waitress forgot something, so I called the waitress over to my table, and I said, "Ma'am, you forgot something." And the waitress said, "What did I forget, sir?" And I grabbed her by her collar and I said, "You forgot the pussy." I can't say it.
I voted for Trump. And you know why I voted for Trump? Because he told me one thing that I should always do, and that's take the girl and grab him by the pussy.
No questions asked, no holes barred. I had to do what a patron has to do, and that's grab him by the pussy.
This past weekend I saw Puss in Boots, and I was angry, and I went to the manager and I said, "That was false advertisement." And the manager said, "Well, what do you mean, sir?" And I grabbed him by his collar and I said, "Where was the pussy?"
I went to go get a gift for my daughter. I went to Petco, and I saw all the little animals there. I saw the dogs. I saw the cats. I saw the fishes. I went back to the dogs and cats, and I said to the person working there, "Hey, get me 3 of those little pussy."
Oh God!
Oh my God! Now my voice is dead.
Oh man!
I went on Letterboxd, where it's a site where you can review movies. And on Puss in Boots, I gave it negative stars. My reasoning had nothing to do with the plot, or the score, or the acting. My review simply read, "Lack of pussy."
How dare you, sir? There was a bunch of cats up and down this film. What do you mean there was no pussy?
I even wrote Antonio Banderas a letter. I said, "Now listen, cabron. I love you in anything that you do. But in this movie you failed to live up to the mantra. By not having any pussy." All right. That's all right. We gotta stop that. All right. So one last bit of news, and this kind of pertains to me and Justin, since it's a San Antonio thing. Royal Rumble is nearing a sellout.
You motherfucker!
They have a capacity of 40,577 attendees, and as of now, they have sold 39,028 tickets.
Yoo-hoo!
So they currently have 1,549 available spots in the Alamo Dome, which is more than likely to be sold out by bell time.
It is going to be crazy Royal Rumble weekend. I have some things I have planned.
Uh-oh.
Some pussy.
Well, again, that's a given. But I am going to Wonderland of Americas because they're gonna have a wrestling toy convention there. So I gotta be all up on that. Then I know that on the same day as well, they're gonna have I believe WrestleFest here. So like Sting's gonna be here and Trish Stratus and I believe Kane and it's free entry too. So so definitely gonna take a look at that. But there's a lot of things going on in the city and it's fucking awesome, man. It's like God, man, God, man.
It was my friend Jess just sent me this. So next Friday on the 27th, Big E is gonna be here at Walmart.
Which one?
I'll text you the one, but it's he's going to be at Walmart on January 27th from 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Time, so that'd be 12 to 2.
Yeah, I can tell you that shit.
It'll be 12 to 2. I think I'm off that day. I think I
12
that
to
day.
2? I'm working that day, unfortunately, so I wouldn't be able to go check him out. I won't be able to cry in his eye, lick in his eyes and cry,
What? Why would you lick his eyes and cry?
No, look in his eyes and cry.
Oh, okay.
Go lick his eyes and cry.
You probably be into that kind of shit. Biggie's kind of a freak. All right, guys, that's the show. We did 2 hours and 46 minutes. I got to say thank you to everybody. Thank you to everybody that showed up. Thank you, RJ. Thank you, Justin, for being my podcasting partner in crime. Thank you. Thanks to both of you for being by my side. And let's here's to another 5 years. And let's make these next 5 years awesome. Let's make another 5 years awesome. Let's make this last until the wheels fall off.
There you go.
That's right.
Ruben, of course, thank you for coming on, even if it's just to say hi. Everybody that came on, John Draper, it means the world to me. Kevin, of course, he's a surly asshole, but I love him. Jeff Littman, of course, another surly asshole. I love him. I'm glad y'all were able to come on, and everybody else that listens, downloads, and shares, and subscribes, and is on the Patreon. Thank you guys so much. I love the fans. I love all you guys. The usual suspects. Let's check you out. Eddie, our porn aficionado. We love you, man. Kyle, we love you. You big old handsome lug. Anna, of course. Anna, you're batshit crazy, but we love you.
Anna the gay banana.
Maurice, what else can I say about you? You're a favorite bear. You're a favorite kind of bear. CM Goof, you are. I don't know how to describe you, other than you ask a lot of questions that are sometimes very unique.
He's an alien.
But we love you. And Lightning, I know you're not here. I know you're listening. We love you too, man. And everybody else that listens to the show, everybody else that supports, that's been supporting me since day one. Like the Usos say, day one-ish. Wrestling Soup, Mish, who unfortunately couldn't make it tonight, but I hope you're listening. Love you, Mish. Love Wrestling Soup. Love Joe Numbers. I love Kevin Castle. I love Trez. Baseball Chickie. She's cool as fuck. Love her.
Yeah.
Breaking the Apocalypse guys, of course. John Draper, Shaheen, my fellow Iranian. B Show Brian, who just came back on the show. B Show Brian, sweetheart of a man, the big burly one himself, as they refer to him as. And Andrew Carlick from False Count Radio, Wrestling Court with Julian Cannon and Rob. Love those guys. Clark Street Wrestling Podcast with Devin. And if you're listening, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. I think his name is Haziz or Hashif. Love you guys. I'm a big fan of your shows. And
Yuck Nasty?
Yuck Nasty, who's the themes you hear on the show were done by him. So if you're a podcaster or not, if you're in the music business, get a hold of Yuck Nasty, and he'll make you a super fucking good theme, just like he's done for this show. Shaheen, the artwork you see for this show and from other shows like RJ, for example, he has done artwork for us. And get in touch with him at nuclearheatgraphics.com, or you can find it. Yeah, you can find him on social media. You can, if you have him on Facebook, if you have him on Instagram or Twitter, just give him a shot, and he'll do your artwork. He's the best.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who else? I'm trying to think of more names. Monty, brother Monty, our other New York brethren, a little brother Monty. I call him my little brother Monty, just like I call RJ my little brother. We do the Trifecta Threat podcast every weekend. We haven't been able to do one the past 2 weeks, but we're going to try to do one this week. Try. Keyword is try. We love you, Monty.
Yes, sir.
And of course Jeff Littman and Steve Pena with Hammerlock Hangover podcast. I think Steve has a problem with me. I don't know why, but I brought that up to Steve on a post. I'm like, why does Steve hate me? And he just kind of like laughed about it. I'm like, that hurts my feelings.
I'll try to figure that out. I'm in a group chat with Steve on Instagram.
I don't know. Like, I think me and Steve are cool, but I don't know. Just I've been advocating to get back on the show because I like listening to their show. So I don't know. Maybe they just can't find the time. I don't know. But anyways, it feels like I'm shooting on him, but not really. But and just everybody else that listens to the podcast. From everyone who's been on the show, past and present. Like my friend Jessica, if you remember her. She was on a few episodes, back in the day. So, Jessica, if you're listening, my bestie, my sister, I love you. I love you to death. I love your family. And I got to give credit is due, even though me and him aren't talking anymore. Devin, this is a different Devin. Devin was on earlier shows with me, and if you're listening, I doubt you're listening, but thank you too for helping me with this show. And just so many other people to thank, and not that one, you pervert. So just so many people to thank, and if I'm forgetting names, I'm really sorry, but thank you to everybody. And this means the world to me. Like I say, it means the world to me that I have friends like these, that I have people I can call friends and family. So anyway, what?
How many of us have them? Friends.
One we can depend on. But anyways, guys, I'll stop boring you with the mushy stuff. But anyways, guys, thank you again, and I'll try to have the show up by Friday. RJ, Justin, go ahead and plug your stuff. Whoever wants to start.
Go first, RJ. You got it.
You can follow me on Twitter at LilRJ Unlimited, where all things that come out of my mouth have no limits whatsoever. Follow my podcast at RJ and the Savage Squad Show. I just did an episode. The audio was kind of bonchy. I'm looking to get that fixed, but yeah, I just did an episode with one of my good friends, Mikey Starks, the Golden Star of Brooklyn. So we did that. And follow my new YouTube page at the RTJXX. I did a test stream for some of my 2K Fed stuff. So that's up if you guys want to check that out. Hear me ramble on and do commentary and stuff like that. That's up. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Oh yeah, and by the way, sub to Brother Monty's broadcast as well. So my main stuff is up there as well. Me and him do shows together. Mayhem. And then, of course, like Drew mentioned earlier, we do a show together, the Trifecta Effect. And yeah, that's an effect. Is it effect or threat? I don't know. I keep wanting to say effect all the time.
I don't know. I thought it was effect, and then I literally made the logo for threat because I was telling Monty, I'm like, I'm pretty sure it's effect. And then he showed me the logo. I'm like, oh yeah, I did make the logo, and it said threat. I'm a dumbass.
I don't know. I keep on saying effect, but yeah, the Trifecta Threat. I guess the Trifecta Effect, it kind of flows over nicely, more better. But
you guys can call whatever you want.
Yeah, we do a bunch of fucking shows together at this point. Like, we're totally intertwined and intermingled with each other. It's ridiculous. So yeah, check those stuff out.
And Justin, you can close it out.
Yeah, obviously, guys, you know me. Follow me on Instagram, SpinebusterTees, SpinebusterTees.com. Get your t-shirts that are available. Store is coming July 2023. Can't wait. Can't wait to show you guys pictures and all the stuff. But yeah, follow me on Instagram to follow my journey here. I have a Supreme Funko Pop coming, I think tomorrow, and it's worth almost $500. It's the AJ Lee
Jesus.
Funko Pop. It's worth almost $500. AJ Lee. Yeah, it's a very, very Grail Funko Pop that's going to be coming in. It's worth a lot. So if you guys are getting into collecting or into collection as well, not just like, I would say get into collecting, man. It's so fun. Find something that you like and start collecting it. You know what I mean? Even a small collection. You know what I mean? Because some of these things do go up in value, but also as well, it's just cool to have, man. Cool to have, show off your personality. You know what I mean? If people were to come over to your house or come in to your room for the first time, you can show off some of your personality, some things that you like, and yeah, man. I can't be any more proud of myself and the chance I'm taking on myself, and how everything's well received. As I mentioned earlier, I had the ability to have a conversation with Jazz and Rodney Mack over the weekend as well, and we kind of talked a little business and kind of like my vision for San Antonio and the pro wrestling scene here, and they kind of agree with me on hey, why is the indie wrestling scene so hot here, but there's nowhere any wrestling fan can go to buy wrestling stuff. You know what I mean? To play a safe place. So that's my goal. That's my goal at the end of the day is that. So yeah, can't wait for that to happen though. But yeah, Spinebuster Tees and SpinebusterTees.com.
All right, guys, we will see y'all. Actually, I think this weekend because this weekend's a Q&A show.
Yeah, Q&A shows this weekend. Yep,
this Saturday. And RJ, are you gonna be able to join?
Probably not.
All right.
I got a commentary gig.
I'll ask you that offline. All right, guys, we'll see y'all this Saturday for the Q&A, and we'll see y'all next week, same time, same place. And what else can I say? But for the next 5 years, and then some. But peace.
Peace out.
Peace out.